Welcome to the Real Comic Heroes Podcast. Your adventure into the world of comic book movies starts here.
Greetings, citizens, and welcome to another adventure of the Real Comic Heroes Podcast. My name's Travis.
And I'm Patrick with a special guest today.
I have cookie in my mouth.
That's right, it's the Cookie Monster, everyone.
Hey, everybody, it's me, your favorite Muppet.
Cookie Monster, why don't you start off by telling us how you were, cut out of this movie?
I love this movie so much. One thing I love, cookies. Second thing, fascism. Oh, hey, it's Jonathan. Hi, everybody. Sorry, I was eating beforehand and
You're breaking the cardinal rule of podcasting.
I'm not eating on, but you did reference me much sooner than I thought I would be. I thought you guys would have a little bit of a Marin open and kind of be talking to each other a little bit.
No, not really.
Like to keep the guests off guard. Yeah.
Yep.
I'm prepared now. I put my cookie to the side and I'm ready to talk about this movie.
All right. And what movie would that be?
Starship Troopers.
There you go.
From the future. From a year undetermined.
We'll get into it, but that is one thing watching the movie. I was like, I wish there was an idea of when this is taking place.
It's better not having one because then you're just like, we're in the year that.
Right.
Yeah.
It's like the Back to the Future bullshit. We're in the year that Starship Troopers happen and we don't have flying spaceships and pulse rifles and blah.
That is true. Yeah.
I assume it's an alternate universe.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I do too.
Bugs can
reasons.
fart stuff at the planet Earth and destroy Buenos Aires. Spoilers.
Nuked them. Got us, Johnny. Bugs got us.
Yeah, so Starship Troopers from 1997.
Anything pre 9/11, just chef's kiss on movie. Travis knows this, but just yesterday and this morning I watched Evolution, a 1999 movie with David Duchovny. Nothing better than a movie back when we didn't care about anything. Like we're like, hey, cops are all great and we're super cool with everybody and racism's kind of funny in movies. Oh my God, it's so bad.
Was it 99? I thought that was one of the movies that came out tried to come out the week after 9/11 or something like that.
You think it's a 9/11?
I think so. Like it came out unfortunately at that time, and I think that's why it didn't do so well.
You're right. It's from 2001.
Okay.
You think that's why? Not that they
I think it came out like that week.
Not that they had a Head and Shoulders ad at the end of the movie, which is also fucking great. But this movie is also, I have watched this. I was telling you guys in the green room. I've watched this movie 1,000 times. I love this movie.
What did you see it in theater?
Hell yeah. Dragged my wife to it.
Yeah.
Didn't know anything about it. All I saw was like the preview. The preview was kind of like the music. You want to know more?
Oh yeah.
The preview was like his fascist propaganda tape. And I was like, well, we got to see this. This looks great. Because I think in the preview, someone says they sucked his brains out. And I'm like, yeah, I got to see this.
I saw that awesome. they ran the trailer with Men in Black and what was the other one from that year from 97? I forget.
Amelie. Chocolat.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah. Patrick, what about you?
I didn't see it in theaters. It was definitely a word of mouth thing that I got post theater.
Yeah.
It likely wasn't on my radar of things to go out and see. It sounds like I'm trying to think of 97. So oh yeah, I was too busy like pretending I was way older than I actually was and cruising the malls.
Yep.
For the ladies. So this one I definitely saw as a rental. I remember watching with some friends, but unfortunately missed the theater.
I remember this one coming out and being like everyone was talking about it. I was 14 and like every boy in my class would of course we're just talking about the co-ed shower scene, and then it being just an action movie about shooting bugs and everything. So like I knew all about that, and it's one of those movies that I think I just ended up seeing on cable over the years, like little bits at a time. There were definitely chunks of this movie that felt brand new to me. I guess I've just
Really?
never sat down and watched this movie from start to finish
Holy
you know,
crap.
in a sitting or whatever. It just always, like, I just missed it because this wasn't a movie I was going to go see with my family or be a rental that, you know, they would be on board with seeing. So I just never saw it really, like I said, until it really came out on, you know, probably edited for TV cable, you know.
Oh, you saw
So
it edited.
yeah, I mean, I would have seen it like on a sci-fi channel
Wow.
or something, not like an HBO. So yeah, it's just one of those that I just kind of always missed, but I felt like I knew most everything about the movie. The middle chunk of the movie I've seen so many times, you know, the basic training kind of stuff, like
Mhm.
that was very familiar. But yeah, it's just kind of everything before that felt really new, and a lot of the ending stuff I think I've seen once or maybe twice. So yeah,
I'm
it's an odd
shocked.
one that I don't have a lot of history with, but I still feel like I know the movie pretty much. So, I don't know. Cultural osmosis, I think, it plays a big part for with this one.
Yeah, I think I got interested once I found out the RoboCop dude was
Sure.
involved because I
Yeah,
like
yeah.
RoboCop.
So yeah, the movie, you know, as I was watching it, I felt like this must be a bigger franchise. Like I figured there were like it was all based on video games or an RPG, you know, novels. Like I could see this having like an extended series of novels, and this was just one aspect of this world. So I was a little surprised that it all started with a novel by Robert Heinlein from 1959. So it's one of those like really old sci-fi, you know, books that, from what I found out, starts off pretty much the same. You know, it's the same characters. It's set in like a basically a utopian kind of future where he wanted to write that like this this world is ran by essentially by fascism, and it here's a version of that works, I guess. Um
Hey, you call it a utopia.
well, that's what I've that's what I've
What
read.
Radcheck says, he goes, the whole place was messed up, and the armies and the military came in and took over.
Yeah.
The veteran,
Hmm.
he says, the veterans came in and took over.
And then yeah, the movie came about when this guy Ed Newmeyer, he was the writer. He started in 91 writing a movie at the time he was calling Bug Hunt on Outpost 7, and he took it to this producer, uh John Davison, and Davison kind of noticed that the story that Newmeyer was writing kind of felt like Heinlein's book, you know, Starship Troopers, and he knew that if they took this bug hunt movie to the execs at the studio, they'd shoot it down. So he told Ed to like, can you rework it into a Starship Troopers movie, and then we can say based on this book by this renowned sci-fi writer, and get a franchise kind of attached to it, get a name going with it, and then that might get, you know, give it some juice, basically. And it
Bug
totally
juice.
worked. Bug juice, yeah. It worked, you know, and they started working on it. It was like a slow build. They started, I think they had a first draft in 93, and then over 93 and 94, they started to bring the pieces together, and they got Paul Verhoeven, the director, you know, that was the first and only choice as far as directors go. They knew they wanted the guy from RoboCop to make this movie. They just didn't think anyone else could really do it. And Verhoeven knew that he wanted Phil Tippett to take care of the special effects, and Tippett came off of doing the Ed 209 stuff for RoboCop, and then all the Jurassic Park stuff. So came together over the next couple of years, and they filmed in 96, and took about a
That's pretty.
year to do all the special effects, but
which are great.
They really
Yeah.
hold up. I think the bugs look amazing.
They don't look. I mean, they're digital, and
Yeah.
so in '96, that's a pretty tall order.
For sure. And you see them in daytime, you see them at nighttime.
Mostly in daytime. That whole fight scene is just all day, and you're like, okay,
Yeah.
yeah, it holds up. I watch it probably every couple of years because my kids love it. I've shown it to my kids, but who are like, oh, gross nudity, so they wanted to fast forward through that when they were kids. But I make them watch it. Watch the nude scenes.
You watch it.
But yeah,
Well,
it's so great because there's no stakes real. I mean, the stakes of the human race stakes, but it's not. You're just like, this is awesome. You know, we were talking about. I just said Denise Richards looks like, you know, she's inhumanly beautiful. Casper Van Dien is also inhumanly beautiful in this movie, so they're perfect together. When I see them together, I'm like, oh man, they don't make it like this. They don't make actors like this anymore.
Well, you know, and it was they made a choice, and going back to this being the world itself being rooted in fascism. You know, the director Verhoeven wanted to make it a satire of that, wanted to kind of make fun of that a little bit. And when it came to casting, they wanted, you know, primarily like blonde hair, blue eyes, you know, that sort of people. And I guess they tested who did I read? Matt Damon and someone else. But when they looked at Casper Van Dien, and he just matched the, I guess, what they were going for as far as that goes a little bit more.
Yeah. And also, I don't know if I need good actors in this. I
was-
mean, not to shit on anybody that's in this. They're all super fun, but it's not like Casper Van Dien has lit up the world.
Well, that was part of what I read about it. They said that instead of going with A-list, let's look at TV actors. So
let's look at Jake Busey.
They literally were like, let's look at people from, you know, Melrose Place, like Patrick Muldoon, and maybe people like that. It's like they purposefully wanted that sort of actor, not at the top of their game. And I read that is one area that Paul Verhoeven has said, like, if I could remake it, I would have gotten better actors.
Oh,
at the time, he said that's what they wanted because he wanted to play into the satire aspect of it, I guess, and he thought that TV actors would work better, I guess. So
I like everybody in this movie.
I think everyone kind of works, yeah.
Even that, and we talked about the beautiful people. That Uggo, Neil Patrick Harris.
Oh man.
No, I love everybody in this movie. Clancy Brown.
Oh, sure.
It's his second best role to me, other than Highlander. It's this movie.
Wow.
Michael Ironside. Trying to think who else.
Rue McClanahan.
Yeah, love
Blanche Devereaux
as a blinded veteran
with like facial scars. You can tell like she has burn. You know,
we'll get to it when we go through the movie, but
yeah.
It's lovely that they're like, well, you know, they say if you can't do, teach, that old horrible thing, which is a terrible thing to say. But I like this is if you're hurt, teach.
Yeah.
It's basically people with no arms, blind. It's all the people that literally can't fight anymore.
Right.
Are teaching at this school.
Yeah.
So that's so good. Dee Norris in an ill-fitting costume. We'll get to it.
Yeah.
Good Lord. I didn't know if you saw the sheer volume of taglines for this movie.
I didn't. Yeah. If you want to hit us with some.
Yeah.
This is by far the largest list I have ever seen. I don't even think we could have time to go through all of these.
Yeah. Give us your favorites, your standouts.
Okay. So you got, obviously this one, the only good bug is a dead bug.
Sure.
Good. And then you got forget the insecticide, bring on the nukes. Oh, there's a DVD tagline.
Oh,
weird.
Sure.
But it's just like from the director Total Recall and Basic Instinct.
Yeah,
that's the
tagline.
That's lame. That's marketing mumbo jumbo.
Yeah.
But the one I like is you battle 6 trillion enemies that will eat you alive. There are only 2 rules. Everyone fights, no one quits.
That works. Yeah.
I mean, everyone fights, no one quits. If they just hadn't done the first part, would be great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because that's, I'm pretty sure, dialogue in the movie.
Yep.
From Ironside.
And
from Rico. He says it later.
Sure.
Mm-hmm.
Well, yeah.
Yeah, the rest of
several
it's pretty
things
generic stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. And there's like 13 different taglines. It's
Jeez.
crazy. Who knew they had the marketing budget?
This one of the things that Paul Verhoeven did in RoboCop, and clearly just kind of rips off his own stuff for this movie, is the expositional, would you like to know more, that sort of thing. That is not not from the book, and it totally works. It's a gimmick that he employs well. I think it works in RoboCop, and it works really well here, especially given the fact that it's kind of ahead of its time. It's definitely, it's not far off from what, it's incorporating like the internet with, TV essentially, and just kind of,
it reminded me of like a CD-ROM game that I had.
Yeah, the visuals of it, sure.
Like live video actors into the game.
Yeah.
And even like the interface where it like points and clicks, it's very boxy and gray, and reminded me of like a kind of like a CD-ROM game from the 90s.
Sure.
Like that that program that he's using to doodle on was very
I mean, that I've got on my iPad now, that's just a sketch.
They got a lot of future tech right.
Yeah.
They did a good job. I like that. I like the bigger and bigger guns. Yes, we would definitely do that. But I love that their uniforms are not, they're all very like, they're just all like Nazi uniforms, basically.
Right. Well, yeah. At one point, it's literally just a Gestapo.
Yeah.
Carl wears
yeah. Oh man. As far as like the soldiers and what they're wearing, I guess one of the elements of the book that they had to leave out, just they didn't have the budget to outfit everyone. Apparently, every soldier would have been fitted with a mech suit, basically a power suit kind of thing, to give them all super strength. And I guess that's how the book was. Like every soldier had a suit of armor that budget wise they could not have done for the movie. So they nixed that and a couple other things like that, and some kind of warp technology kind of thing that they removed as well. But
steady, go.
Yeah, I always thought that was weird, especially when they have that first landing and they're just getting decimated and cut in half. And like I remember thinking, my daughter has more gear for playing softball than these guys do. Going up against bugs that are the size of like a Buick. And larger.
And it's interesting because Paul Verhoeven hated the book. He has publicly stated he hates the book, which is wild.
Yeah. I read that he read 2 chapters of it and stopped and said, this is boring. And he told his writer, Ed, he said, tell me what happens. He basically had him lay out the book for him and present it to him essentially, and tell him kind of what the story was. So, I mean, that kind of, gives you an idea of where he was coming from. He was more interested, I think, in making a movie, a satire about fascism, that once the movie came out, he got raked over the coals because people didn't get the satire aspect of it. They just thought, you're literally making a Nazi propaganda movie, on purpose, or,
So when the kids were playing with the guns, that wasn't like
that was the one thing that I thought of, was like, okay, this is clearly a satire movie. Like there's a scene, giving the kids guns, and
everyone's laughing like it's a Wrigley Spearmint commercial or something.
Why don't you people understand that this is satire?
I was a dumb teenager, and I even understood it was supposed to be funny.
No, at no point do I don't understand any of the people that think this is an actual fascist movie or like promotes the use of fascism. If you've ever, I would tell your listeners, if you have the ability to get this with the director's commentary and you've seen the movie before, watch it with Paul Verhoeven's commentary. It's hilarious.
Okay.
Hilarious, interesting, weird. Paul Verhoeven's crazy. It's great. He's super passionate. He says the word proto-fascism about 15 times in the first 10 minutes of the commentary, because I remember my friends and I watched the commentary and we're just laughing our heads off. We're like, I can't, Paul, Paul Verhoeven is now, it's funny that it's Paul Verhoeven. Paul Verhoeven is now second to me only to Arnold Schwarzenegger, because there is a Paul Verhoeven Arnold Schwarzenegger commentary on Total Recall. That is even funnier, because he's trying to be serious, but he gets really animated when he talks. Whereas Arnold Schwarzenegger doesn't know how to do commentary.
Right.
His commentary is to say what's on the screen. He's like, here's the scene where I have the jackhammer, and you're like, yeah, we know, we're watching the movie.
Yeah.
And when he's not like saying like, when we shot this was a fake jackhammer. He's not like saying
Right.
any of the stuff that you want to hear. He's just telling you what's happening in the scene. He's my second favorite to Paul Verhoeven. Paul Verhoeven is a great commentator. So listen to it if you can.
Arnold's there for the visually impaired.
He really is. Oh,
Yeah.
if you don't know, in this scene, that's not really my wife. She's pretending to be my wife. But yeah, Paul Verhoeven he's so great. He's just so animated, and he's got an accent. So it's like, it's him talking about fascism sounds very fascist in and of itself.
Right.
He's from the Netherlands. For some reason, he sounds German. Who knows?
Sure.
So
the last name sounds very German.
Yeah, Verhoeven. Yeah.
Verhoeven.
Movie starts, with I like this. Like, we start with war, and it's set up as a flashback, or I guess a flash forward, really.
To its credit, no scrolling overdubbed or voiceover.
Sure. But
in the distant future,
Yeah.
we will be at war with bugs.
Right.
This is a much better way to show it.
Sure. And you see the ships kind of approaching this planet that they're about to attack. I think the ship designs are pretty good. There's one sequence where you're kind of passing by a ship, and these cannons kind of come online, and the cannons shoot towards the planet. And I would swear that 10-second clip was taken from a Star Wars, one of the new Star Wars movies, like Last Jedi, or because the cannons on the ship firing looks just like a sequence from I think Last Jedi. But so it holds up. That they did a really good job with just the ship design, and they look practical. Maybe not the cannons moving, but yeah, I mean, we get this like battle sequence where you're kind of just thrown into it, and you get a quick look at some of the bugs, and yeah, it totally holds up. And
it's from a POV of like a camera of a news crew. So we get kind of the down in the trenches.
Yeah. Like, we're joining live now, the battle. Yeah, things go south. Everyone seems to get killed. And then we'll come back to this sequence later, because it does cut to like 1 year later. It's interesting to see this version, and then the full scene that we'll get later, because you get more later, of course.
Yeah. I never really, it always bugged me, no pun intended, as I say that. They're we're on opposite sides of the galaxy.
Yeah.
So we can't put up like roadblocks for these meteors or anything. It seems like we're like shooting it right as it hits the moon area.
Sure.
Orbital defenses are now better than ever.
Yeah.
Just saying, we got a lot of space to work with here.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know if they don't really, it's one of the areas that they don't really touch on, is how did this war start, I guess. I imagine it's just as we get further and further out into the galaxy, we found this planet of bugs, and they didn't like that.
Or they just spread themselves naturally using the meteors to, like, it doesn't seem like they have grand plans or anything, but
I don't know. Apparently the bugs are pretty smart, from what you learn while watching the movie. So I think it's more like they see us as invaders, and which, from a certain point of view, sure, yeah, there's heroes on both sides, Patrick.
Yeah, that's just weird. They don't have I figured we'd have more like planets in between us, and like in between Earth and was it clandestine or whatever the hell the planet's called? Clendathu,
yeah.
You obviously don't understand how stellar mechanics work.
I don't.
Yeah.
And I don't think I ever will.
I'd be interested to read a description of the bugs from the book, because it sounded like they've simplified them. They made them more like bugs. I guess in the book there were queen bugs, and there were something called advanced canines called neo dogs. So I don't know if it's just like a hound version of these bugs that they removed. And then I was reading it might have been Ed Newmeyer, like as he was writing it, he thought, I'm gonna make these guys more bug-like because the idea of a bug with a gun just seemed crazy. So I don't know if the original version, if they were humanoid, maybe.
Okay.
So like I said,
Smart bugs. I am
Yeah.
offended.
Oh, gosh.
Yeah.
I love that guy.
Yeah, the guy.
The
Used
Tucker
his time
Carlson
wisely.
of
Oh yeah.
Tucker Carlson of bug media.
Oh, good lord.
All the stuff that happens at the school. I remember seeing Michael Ironside teaching the class, so that felt kind of familiar enough to me.
I'm
But then, like, you
surprised
get,
they CG'd his arm out. Like,
Looks
I don't
great.
know.
it looks
Did they
good.
CG it?
And I don't
think
know.
it might be a behind the back
Yeah.
prosthetic. I smell Phil Tippett on that. I smell rubber. It has that rubber kind of feel to it. They might have.
But they've definitely given the arm some movement. Like, it's not just hanging there limp. It definitely has some motor control. It's like,
Well, because he touches Denise Richards with the nub.
that's right. Take my good hand.
I guess you only get a cool metal hand when you're in the infantry.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, if you re-enlist, you get a cool. I do enjoy this part because it sets the basis of the whole first act, which is what is a citizen versus what is a what is the other word? You're either a citizen of the Federation, which means you do
civilian.
service, or a civilian.
Yeah.
I like that because his parents don't believe in military, being the military. So they're civilians, but obviously everybody seems rich. I don't. Okay, maybe fascism works on that level. They didn't go into it. Like, we don't see the geopolitical stuff. This could also just be the rich kids that go to a rich school, live in a everyone knows Buenos Aires is super posh, and also so many white people in Buenos Aires.
So about that,
because this is in Buenos Aires right now.
Yes. I always thought, like, the subtext here is that maybe this is an alternate timeline where the Nazis that fled Germany and went to, like, Argentina, like, this is the result of them. They have bred, so that's why you have, a white guy playing someone named Johnny Rico, like, because he has been, it's same thing with Denise Richard. She's playing someone named Carmen. They call her Ibanez. Yeah. So clearly, like, Hispanic influence, in their names and everything. But I wondered if it was like these Germans went there and they just carried out their normal lives, and
Dizzy
Flores. There's so many white people here in Buenos Aires.
I went with a much different, less interesting version that just the American military took over all of North and South America, to the point where it's just kind of like, now it's really homogenized, but it's extremely like white.
Yeah.
Not that there was a cleansing,
right?
Just that they took over, and like every
melting pot became.
Yeah, in my mind, it's still a melting pot. Because like later on, I believe Sky Marshal Tot Maru. This is from memory. Tahat Maru, when she becomes Sky Marshal, I'm like, oh, so it's not just white guys,
right?
There's a black woman. Awesome, cool. So this is not fascist. It's not racism. It's fascism.
Okay.
Which is hard to, like, you're like, okay, cool.
Well, it's like, just, I've got the movie kind of looping in the background, and as they're with Ironside in the classroom, the students surrounding Johnny Rico and Carmen, it's a very diverse classroom. There's so yeah, I don't know. It's interesting that the world isn't all white. It's just like our main players are.
Well, unfortunately, Hollywood is racist. This movie is fascist.
Okay.
So they had to, they dealt with the cards they were dealt.
Yeah.
So, question on the citizens. It comes up a little later in the aforementioned shower scene. The one lady's trying to have babies, and she says she can only do that if she's a citizen.
I think you have to get a license to have kids.
I love that.
And serving in the military makes it easier to get a license.
Okay,
It's
that's where I
essentially
got-
like, and the
yeah.
same goes with the other woman who wants to get into politics. Like,
Mhm.
it's just easier to go, to get ahead
Mhm.
if you have military service. If you're a
So
citizen.
Rico's parents just had dough to do it.
Yeah,
They
they
didn't, so they
didn't.
needed the military. I gotcha. Yep.
Yeah.
I was trying
Right,
to piece
'cause-
those two together.
Shujimi, the guy who wants to be a writer and wants to
Mhm.
go to college, he also is like, if I go to the military,
Oh, yeah.
they'll pay my way through school.
Right.
So
Which
I mean, that's
is
a
what a lot
that's
of
a
people
normal
do.
thing that happens
Yeah.
now. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's,
I just thought the baby angle was unique.
Yeah.
I like that part.
It's an interesting idea of like, you need a license to breed, which, I mean, it's not a terrible idea.
You're making some points. Are we trying to get people to become fascists? This movie's making a lot of good points.
Right.
So,
Are we that podcast? Oh God!
I think that's where we're going.
Oh my God!
I think my mom's calling me.
You guys need a shirt for this year. It's just hashtag Starship Troopers was right.
Right. It works
That'll
on
go
two
well.
levels.
It was.
The
But
football-
right is spelled like Reich.
Yeah.
Starship Troopers was Reich.
Let's talk about football.
Hey,
Is
Well,
that
whatever
what
this
we're
is.
talking about? Yeah.
Yeah.
This is
Flip
like
6
arena-
3 hole, baby. That's my favorite play.
Yeah.
That's my wife and
this-
my safety word too.
Yeah.
6 3 hole.
This felt kind of familiar. Like, I definitely had seen the football scene before, but then after the football sequence, it goes to like a high school prom, which was brand
Yeah.
new to me. I almost wonder if watching it in, in basic cable, I wonder if that was edited out for TV just for time.
Also,
'cause-
they do talk about boning a lot in
Okay.
that scene. So if you're watching on regular TV,
Yeah.
they might have taken it out just because, like, one, we have to cut something.
yeah,
And
she
it's
does
all
say,
about Carmen wanting to have sex with Rico.
right,
It's about Dizzy wanting to have sex with Rico.
right,
It's about Carl trying to have sex with anybody that will have sex with Carl,
right.
which no one
Yeah.
will.
So that would make sense. I'd be curious if anyone else has, experience like watching this movie. Do they remember a dance sequence? Because
I do. I believe
Well.
I don't remember the trivia. Maybe you have it. The singer at the dance.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. You have whose daughter
mean,
it is?
Yeah, I do. If you have it, go for it.
No, you can go for it. I don't remember who
So
it is.
the soundtrack, the score for the movie is one of my favorite film composers, Basil Poldoris, who did RoboCop, but he did one of my favorite scores is the Conan the Barbarian score, and his daughter Zoe Poldaris is the singer in this high school band or whoever's on stage.
This high
so
school band,
it's-
sure, they're all in high school.
Yeah,
Yeah.
30-year-old high school students.
I mean, Patrick Muldoon looks 45 in
man.
this whole
Yeah.
movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had to look him up to see how old he was, and he was like in his late 20s.
I had
but
to
he
look him
did
up
look
just
a
'cause
lot older.
He was one of those people that his face, like, it was cemented in my brain, but I was like, what do I know him from?
He usually played like a creep or
Right.
the rapist from TV shows
Sure.
in the late 80s and 90s.
yeah.
He
was a Melrose Place guy, I
yeah.
guess. I didn't watch Melrose, but I still I knew his face.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Him and Dizzy were the same age, but he looked way older.
Yeah, Dina Meyer still looks like she's
Yeah.
in her
Oh, yeah.
30s. Somehow I've surpassed Dina Meyer.
Right.
I was younger than her, and now I'm older than her. So damn it. Jake Busey still looks great. What can you say?
Yeah.
You know what? As they say, ugly don't run. when you're weird as shit looking,
Yeah.
everybody, look, Clancy Brown. No, I mean, if he like shaved all of his stuff, it was like a normal guy. Is he classically handsome? No, he's
Nah.
interesting looking.
Yeah.
And interesting looking goes very far
Sure.
because now you're like, hell yeah, Clancy Brown looks great. Yeah, because he was weird looking when he was 22. So he just grew a beard and long hair and now looks like a badass.
Yeah. Clancy
Whereas
Brown
Casper Van
taking
Dien,
shots.
he was so beautiful. Now you're like, oh, I'm seeing some cracks, and he's
Mhm.
not the same. Yeah, it's how we judge people. It sucks.
Yeah.
If Michael Ironside was still alive, maybe
That's right. He
is.
did. I
He
think
died
he
recently.
died. Yeah.
I love that man.
Yeah,
because I grew up on V, so V was the first time I ever saw him
Okay.
in anything. I think I saw him in V before I saw Scanners, so I had not seen him as his titular role of Scanners, of Fred Scanner or whatever his name.
Yeah, I
He appears
probably
to be
saw
alive
him.
still.
Oh,
really?
yes! Oh, thank God!
Yeah.
Happy birthday!
Happy birthday.
Yeah, it only has a born date, so
Oh, thank God! For some reason I thought he was dead.
Oh,
Are we getting Harry Belafonte confused with Michael
after
Ironside
this comes out
again?
God damn
yeah,
it!
he'll be in Blackberry coming out this year.
Oh,
apparently.
hell yeah.
nice.
Good. Well, I can't wait to see him.
There you go.
Oh,
got
we
a lot
marked him
coming
for
out.
death.
Jeez.
Oh my God, I've got
He's
him in a
working
death pool.
hard. He might die if he keeps working at this pace, though. It's like 5 projects coming out.
Nice.
Good for him.
Man. So yeah.
So
Long live Ironsides.
So they bone after the dance. I thought at the beginning of this movie, you kind of think, oh, is this going to be like, are they going to show boning? They don't show any boning. They shot other scenes with more like her undressed. She's never naked. She's a never nude in this movie.
Yeah.
Denise Richards. But she does have, there's a scene they cut. I know because I've seen it. When I owned physical media,
Future trash.
Travis knows I now own no future does media. They had the director's cut that had the scenes put back in that they took out because not director's cut. That's the wrong thing. It's an extended cut because this is the stuff they took out because it tested badly.
Yeah.
It's basically Carmen, boning down with Patrick Muldoon like a week after Rico dies.
Okay.
Or maybe a day after Rico dies. Everybody's like, how dare you?
Right. Yeah, I read that stuff didn't test well. I read that she, Verhoeven wanted to have a nude scene with Denise Richards, and she
with her, like as
refused.
the director and her, like just
Well,
together. those two?
yeah, just for his personal collection.
Oh, just
but,
come on in here. I'm going to shoot this scene.
Yeah,
You're gonna be
but
Carmen. I'm a bug. Rrr.
I guess she refused and said, there's no need for it. Like it's
Yeah.
not. Yeah, and
for
she's
her.
probably right. I mean, there's the stuff with the co-ed showers. The point with that scene was to show that Verhoeven's point was when you're dealing with fascists, they have no libido, so they can all be in a shower together naked, and
Right.
no one is ogling each other. It's not about checking.
They don't
each other
consider.
out.
Yeah, they don't consider themselves. They consider themselves equals.
Yeah.
They've grown up that the sexualization of people. You can have sexuality, but it's like I'm at my job.
Yeah.
These are the people I work with, and I'm doing this job. Even though Diz is, still kind of in love with him,
Sure.
but she's not ogling him in the shower.
Right.
that I know.
Yeah, they're just buddies, more or less.
I mean, how many showers have we all taken together?
Well,
I mean,
we're showering right now.
yeah. That's why you've had that sound effect of a shower in the background the whole time. I say sound effect with quotes.
Mm-hmm.
All right, I'm gonna turn the shower off now, guys.
Okay.
All right. You don't have to do Foley. You can just add it. You don't have to it's theater of the mind.
Yeah, let me get my rain stick.
I was wondering when my gift would finally come in handy.
Mm-hmm. Basically after all the high school stuff, it's everyone enlisting, everyone's signing up.
Well, did we talk
in.
about the Carl's math scores and then the brain
We can
stuff?
go for it.
Oh, yeah.
We skipped over. Carl has brain powers.
Sure.
Carl is trying to. There's a commercial. One of the many commercials we get is the guy from Psych.
Yeah. Timothy.
Yeah. Has I almost said Timothy Busfield. That's not him. He has a third eye. He's talking about, are you psychic? So this is far enough in the future that the human race is starting to evolve
Right.
psychic abilities. And Carl has Johnny. I'm going to use their actual, movie names. Carl has Johnny at his house, and they are trying, and he's trying to get him to guess the card he's thinking of. And obviously, Johnny Rico has he has zero. As we've learned in this movie, Johnny Rico is a born grunt.
Mm-hmm.
He is not.
Sure.
He's only good at one thing, and that's killing bugs.
He's a blunt instrument.
He is. And Carl is like, okay, you should statistically have accidentally guessed right by now.
Yeah.
We see him use it on his ferret. He uses his mind powers, and he gets his ferret to go upstairs and tells him that there's a grub on his mom's leg. And then we hear a curl, because obviously the ferret has gone up to her leg and bit her. And he's like, you can't do that to me, Ken. He's like, I can't do humans yet. So there's
Yeah.
your Chekhov's brain
Right.
thing.
I like that we pretty quickly realize, Rico is, he's a jock. He's really good at sports. He's not that good with, math and school and everything. So yeah, he's gonna
And
go
math
into
is big. Math is big in this school. This is my
Sure.
nightmare. This school cares this much about math. I'm like, oh my God.
Yeah. And yeah, we learn he's more of the intellectual side, and then we're not really shown. We're just kind of told that Carmen is going in for like pilot training. So you kind of have
Fleet.
like the three best friends are going to three separate branches.
He's going to
but
intelligence or something.
yeah,
Oh no, he's games and
Or
theory.
Games
Oh.
and theory. That's it. Yeah.
And they're like, oh, that's military intelligence. And he's like, what are you? I'm mobile infantry. And the guy famously is
Yeah.
the guy from
CSI?
CSI, yeah.
Yeah.
Who famously does not have legs.
Yeah.
He's like, mobile infantry, maybe the man I am today. He
It's
has
a good
one arm,
reveal. Yeah.
one arm and no legs. Awesome. Again, he's pushing papers. If you're pushing papers, you've had something blown off.
Yeah. But, maybe right now there's not like really an active war going on. I mean, there is, but there isn't,
Right.
So
There's no war. They're
if he
joining
needed
before
to
war.
sign back up, maybe he'd get, magic legs.
Oh,
Like,
magic legs. If I'm going to war, I was running.
yeah.
It's so good. Yeah, I love that they're joining up before because they're doing it. Carmen wants to do it because she wants to be in fleet. She's always wanted to fly. That's what she wants to do.
Yeah.
Johnny doesn't know what he wants to do. It's the classic story. Johnny doesn't
Sure.
know what to do. Joins up because of a girl. They even say
Yep.
that. Neil Patrick Harris is doing it. I don't know what. There's no real reason why he would even do this.
I think
It was just
Like-
a challenge and like
could be that, and it
to
probably
expand
looks
his
good,
power or something.
Yeah.
But he wasn't trying. Like he's not trying to impress anybody. They didn't talk.
No.
Mm.
It's weird they don't talk about college. Have you noticed? No
Right.
one. They didn't. The
Well,
only
no-
Shumi
Yeah.
talks
He
about it
mentions
later.
Harvard, yeah.
He wants to go to Harvard, but none of the rest of them. I mean, you think Neil Patrick Harris would be like, oh yeah, I got into whatever because he's got like 98s on his math scores and stuff. He and Carmen are both smart,
Yeah.
whereas Johnny's a big
Yes.
dodo.
Or got like a signing bonus for joining the Games and Theory group or something.
Right.
Or he's always wanted to be part of because
Yeah.
he knows he's got tingle talents.
Yeah.
He's got
Yeah.
a Peter Tingle that he's trying to, this is the way you do it.
Yeah.
By military intelligence is the only way you can move forward with this. Don't know. I'm fascinated
By
by
that.
that whole. I wish I would watch a movie just called Carl, Starship Carl, and it's just about Carl. Would you
I know,
watch
I
that? You would totally watch that. It's
I
just
forget
him.
about Carl like right away. I forget Carl's even a thing.
Well,
until,
he's
like, the
gone
end.
for,
Yeah.
a huge chunk, and when you see
Right?
him,
Would
Yeah.
it be great
He's-
to see
he's
him
gone
for
through
the
some
year?
shit.
He comes back. He's
I
got
know.
bags under his eyes.
Yeah.
I sent hundreds of people like you to your death every day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
I just want to know what Starship Carl had to do for the past year. Well, we saw him at one point because he's a military scientist
Sure.
and he's like shooting a freaking bug. So
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
that's what I wanted. I want to live in this world, not live in this world. That sounds crazy. I want to live in this world. I want to live more in the world through movies. I wish the second and third movies weren't poopy. I
Mm.
wish they had made like I need more of this
Built on this world. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm.
Just so I could see the goofy shit that happens.
Yeah.
Like the day to day, like when you're not at war, what do you do?
Right.
What is your peacetime thing?
Mm.
So
Yeah.
oh, yeah. So yeah, they go off to war.
Yeah.
Carmen gets in her tube and shoots off. And they
Yeah,
never
then
see each
we-
other again.
We get a little like brief. It's like a kind of an act break with more exposition. So you do get
Yeah.
the guy from Psych playing the psychic, and the kids playing with the gun that a bunch of soldiers give them, and they're like handing out bullets. There's one sequence where it's like, oh, it's the Crime and Punishment kind of update, and this guy's on
Mhm.
trial, and he's some kind of mass murderer or something like that, and it says live execution tonight at 6 on all channels.
How long did his trial take? Like 5
I think we
hours?
saw it like 10 seconds. I don't know.
Yeah, it was just three
Yeah.
guys sitting up in a thing and just like, you're guilty.
Yeah.
All net, all channels.
Yeah.
It's almost
So,
like
yeah.
they invented the internet, guys. Just like Vice President Gore.
Right. Series of tubes. But then, yeah, we get the basic training
Ah,
kind of starts, and
my
this, yeah, I've seen all of this. I don't know how many times. So this was old hat for me. I don't know why this section just I've seen a bunch, but yeah, it's
basic training's always fun.
yeah,
In
it starts
movies,
off
I should say.
strong.
have any of us done any sort of training? I don't know.
No.
Patrick, are you?
No, but I can't imagine it's as fun to watch as what we're seeing here.
Yeah.
I
I hear
think
it's
too many
great.
people are getting a
Yeah.
knife in the hand or broken arms. I just love
Like-
that medic.
Oh,
Yeah.
medic!
Oh, the medic stuff is great.
Makes me laugh.
Just breaks that big guy's arm right there. I do like the excessive force, and it's like in this universe, yeah, we're going to push you to these extremes because we need you to be, we need to weed out the weak ones, and
Because you're not getting armor.
Eric
Yeah.
Bruscotter. He plays Rube in Major League 2.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
He's just
That's what I do.
like big and dumb on the farm. That's kind of his thing.
yeah.
Yeah.
Did you notice? Did you know that he's married to the girl who washes out, who shoots him in the
Okay.
head?
Oh,
They have a
okay.
kid. They met
That's
on this
funny.
movie. Isn't that
He's
adorable?
I did see he's from Fort Wayne, Indiana.
Okay, that's cool.
Local-ish boy to
Let's go and see him.
yeah.
Hey, is Rube here?
Looking for big dumb guy.
Oh, well, good luck. Big dumb guy. Oh no, he's also a fascist. Oh
Right.
yeah, well, we got that. Don't worry.
Yeah. One thing I noticed when, after the basic thing, Dizzy shows up, and I kind of couldn't remember how she then, because she didn't join up with Johnny and Carmen and Carl. So I was like, I don't remember how she then is part of Rico's squad.
Well, she asked to be. Remember, she got asked to be
right.
transferred.
So yeah, she shows
Right.
up in the middle of this like kind of first day of basic training, and
Little
transferred
stalkery.
a little bit. But she
we meet
kinda
Clancy
tries to-
Brown.
Yep.
What's that?
We meet Clancy Brown.
Oh yeah,
Sergeant Zim. Great.
yeah.
And he puts, and then we meet Private Ace Levy,
Busey, yeah.
played by Jake Busey. First time I ever saw it, had not seen. There was no Frighteners at this point, so this is my first Jake Busey.
Okay.
So, so good.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
I knew it was Gary Busey's kid right away.
Sure.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Look at that.
I mean-
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I was a big Under Siege fan.
Mm.
Hell yeah. Predator 2.
Yep.
All the movies before he went insane.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. He had a bad
There's
day.
Bad day. Yeah.
Jokers.
1999 till now. The bad day.
Hell of a day.
Gary
Hell.
Busey's bad day.
Yeah.
There's a cool sequence where it's Busey, he's harassing everybody in the chow line, like he's cutting, and you can
Everybody
see
needs a
in the-
friend like me.
Yeah. You can see in the scene that Clancy Brown, his drill sergeant character, he's watching all of this
Mhm.
from a couple feet away. And
Yeah.
you can tell he's watching to see what is going to happen between Busey and Johnny Rico. Like he's kind of waiting to see how they handle it,
He's looking for a squad commander.
Yeah, he's not going to break up anything up, but he's going to see how this plays out. So I like seeing that he was observing. It was just kind of a cool, I don't know if it was something they told him to do, but it was because why else would he be in the background of this sequence? But just a cool little character detail that he's aware of everything that's happening around him. So, but yeah,
This is after he's
build a
also
better
broken.
team.
He's already broken. What's his face? Lunkhead's.
Yeah,
Rube's arm.
yeah, and then fought.
And not only we get the awesome medic, but we also learn about the blue juice,
Yeah.
blue juice that they put around your wound, and it seems to heal you.
It's a little like Bacta,
Oh, yeah, everything's very Bacta in
portable
this movie.
Bacta tank on your arm.
Yep, it's
Yeah.
full of scope.
Buy that.
That chow does not look good. at
No,
all.
no, it's all pastes and
It's future paste.
yeah, it's all probably all bugs and dead soldiers all ground up.
It's all the soldiers that couldn't make it through
Yeah.
boot camp.
And then here is where we get the co-ed shower sequence, the famous
Woohoo!
sequence, but it is, when you actually listen to what's going on, there's a lot of information here.
Yeah.
Like we talked about before, the a birthing license and getting into politics, through military service, and the one guy wants to be a writer, and all of this kind of comes out in this sequence. So there's a lot going on here. That
Did you look up what Kit's full name is?
Which one's
in the
Kit?
credits? Kit's the writer.
No, I didn't.
Get you some. The one who dies later. His full name's Kitten.
Oh, I did see Kitten.
Kitten
Okay.
Smith.
Yeah.
And I was
I
like,
assumed that was a
huh.
nickname.
They call him. No, his nickname's Kit.
Huh.
They call him Kitten. What a great is that a Buenos Aires? I know they're not in Buenos Aires, but is it where? I wonder where this is. They don't actually talk about it.
No,
like where
Where this is
obviously
taking
they
place.
went to because Carmen gets on a tube and tubes away.
Right.
So she's got the Elon Musk hyperloop.
Yeah.
That's what I'm wondering. Are those pneumatic tubes that like go to other parts of the country, or are they going to spaceships that take you to the place you need to go? I want to know. Like San Francisco is where Starfleet headquarters
Well,
is. Where is
right.
Yes,
I
it's
think
obviously
they're
not
in
Buenos
New-
Aires because Buenos Aires blows up.
Yeah.
Spoiler, and they're not blown up. So
Yeah, I
Almost-
kind of wish we had a little idea of the time frame of this movie. Just what year is this kind of taking place in?
the future.
Yeah. Or like as I was watching it, I'm like, is it the future or is it an alternate, 1997? Because things in the past have been changed so radically that the present day is different.
I see.
So
So
couldn't-
this is
couldn't
the
tell.
future that we get from Inglorious Bastards,
Sure.
because everyone's much more hyper violent. So
Right. Yeah.
this is the 1996
Yeah.
of this.
We catch up. There's like you can tell that the squad and basically like they're bonding, they're getting close, they're messing around in their barracks and everything. Johnny Rico's trying to send, again, it's they got the future, some of this future stuff right. He's FaceTiming. Well, I mean, he's recording a video message. They're not talking,
Yeah.
live with each other.
They're sending
But,
e-letters
Yeah.
through the
Um,
electronic mail.
Yeah. But yeah, then we get Carmen and we kind of catch up with her, and she must have been doing all this pilot training for a while. And then Amy Smart shows up, and the two of them then take a shuttle to this big ship that Carmen is going to pilot.
Oh
she's
yeah,
in-
Amy Smart's in this. That is
Yeah.
great.
Yeah.
It's like, hey, hardest working. I mean, that girl was at everything.
She was
this
like,
point.
she and Tara Reid had the exact same career, but Amy Smart didn't get like the notoriety of being
No.
like a hot mess,
And it's even in her name that she's smarter.
Yeah.
Because Tara Reid is, I don't mean to begrudge her because I think she might have had a substance abuse problem, but she is a dodo. And in most of the movies that I've seen her in, where they try and make her not a dodo, you're like, come on.
Yeah. I looked up Amy Smart. She's consistently working, but it's not in A-level stuff. It's just
weird
kind
that
of
she,
your
road trip.
some
it's weird that she
TV
got-
stuff and
Yeah, weird that she
and
got kind of looked over, passed
Yeah.
over. 'Cause she's
Yeah.
great.
I
She's a
like
good
her.
actress.
Yeah.
She was
She's
on
in that-
Scrubs. Remember, she was
Yeah.
good on Scrubs.
She was in that camp of like Tara Reid, Amy Smart, and Ali Larder. Like they all the three of them had like the exact
yeah.
same career for a couple of years, and then they obviously kind of did different things,
Mhm.
But
Maybe we'll see her on oh my god, I just forgot the name of the show. The Columbo show. Poker Face. Maybe she'll be
Oh.
on Poker Face. Is she friends with
I don't know.
they seem like contemporaries.
Maybe they were.
Well,
Yeah,
also we learned that Jake Busey's character Ace plays the fiddle,
yeah,
which is
Yeah.
great. Great little
Of course.
and that comes
Weird.
back. Yeah,
oh yeah. He plays it more than once in this movie.
yeah.
It's an electric fiddle.
Yeah.
Yeah, he gets the Dear John letter, Dear Rico letter.
Mhm.
She's going fleet all the way. She's going career.
Yep.
So I guess you can. That's another thing they don't talk about in the movie, but I guess you can serve for a certain amount of time or go career. Going career is obviously that means it's your job. Whereas you can, it reminds me more like the Israeli
Oh,
army,
sure.
where you can just be in it for 3 years or 5 years or whatever it is, and you just do that, and then your service is done.
Yeah, but
And you
it's
just-
mandatory service, and then you can stay in if you want, I guess.
Right. Would you join if this was the? That's a good question. Would you join if this was the rules of the world?
Hmm.
If you did not have a voice, unless you, I'm not talking now.
Oh, right.
We're too old. But would you join up
to
as
get
a
like
20
voting
something.
rights and all the other privileges.
Or would you just say, so, I don't care, I'm just going to be a civilian?
Yeah, I don't know. Hard to say. I mean, oof.
I would if I could be in the game theory section.
Right.
Oh, I see.
But
See,
I
are you
knew I
allowed to
would
take the
die
test and then
immediately.
get out? Are you allowed to take the test and then leave? Are you allowed to find out like, oh shit, I'm just in mobile
But
interview?
it
That's
seemed
terrible.
like
Yeah.
Rico had a choice still.
Yeah,
Like
he still had a
his
choice.
parents were still trying to
Oh,
convince
yeah.
him not to go. So
And washout lane is a thing. Like it's
Right.
fine. Like you can
I
quit.
like that aspect.
sign your
that-
form and you're done.
Yeah, you're free to leave at any time. You know, there's going to be consequences, but
Yeah, I don't want infantry. That's all.
yeah.
I know I would not last.
Hmm.
I'd be the rube that just gets killed instantly at basic training.
Right. And we see various like obstacle course kind of maneuvers, and then at one point they play laser tag, which again, like
Which electrocutes them.
exactly, like it still has, it's not just a laser tag like, oh, your suit lit up and you're out. It literally hurts them, and it's a reason to not want to get hit. So stuff like that, and then it goes to like a live ammo sequence where
Live fire
yeah,
exercise.
goes horribly wrong. What it's the rube that gets shot in the face, right?
Yep, because
Yeah.
because he is somehow they yell
Yeah.
at him and ask him why he removed his helmet, as if his helmet would have helped.
Yeah.
Right.
She shot him in the face. So
What if she shot in the face? Yeah,
Yeah,
so Enrico takes the blame because he's the squad leader.
Mhm.
So he gets the punishment, gets
The
like
lashes.
in front of everybody. Yeah, they lash him like 10 times.
there are a lot of segues. This is probably the best segue.
Mm,
One, we learn that Zim gives him the thing to put in his mouth.
yeah,
Looks like a chew toy and says, "This helps. Trust me."
yeah,
Like I know. So we know that Zim has been corporally punished before.
right.
We meet Dean Norris in the worst fitting suit. I don't know if he didn't show up until the day of shooting. And they're like, well, we have the suit, but it's not Dean Norris sized. Okay,
Yeah.
just put him in a bigger one. He's wearing the worst thing.
He's
you've ever seen.
he's wearing Clancy Brown's suit.
Yeah, he's wearing a much bigger man's uniform. It's like, oh, is that your daddy's uniform, Dean Norris? Yeah, and they start whipping him, and as they're whipping him, you could hear they go through all the whips. You hear them all as
Yeah.
they transition, because they say fall out at the end.
Right.
But then it transfers back to the Ticonderoga, I believe. Is the name of the ship?
Later on, it's the something Roger.
Oh yeah,
I don't know if
well,
that's this ship or not.
well, the Ticonderoga, I think it's the one that blows up, and then
Okay.
they're later on the what is that? The Jolly Johnson? What the hell is that? I'll look it up.
It's not the Jolly Roger. It's like the Roger Young or something like that.
Aaron Rodgers. Because at this point he'll be a
Right. The Schwarzenegger Presidential Library.
Roger Young, yes. But Roger spelled Rodger.
Sure.
So they are on the Roger Young right now.
Okay.
It is a Corvette transport in the
Mm.
United Citizens Federation fleet.
Nice.
All right, there you go. Oh, it doesn't
This-
blow up. It blows up over Clendathu. That's what it is.
Yeah. So as Rico, he's had enough. He's done. And I have to wonder, like, they made a point to show him when he his parents got mad at him, kicked him, his dad kicked him out of the house, and he goes to sign up, and he says, like, I have nothing with me. I don't even have to change of clothes. Like, they'll give me everything I need. And
Mhm.
so as he's washing out, he's carrying this big duffel bag. I'm like, you didn't bring anything with you.
You
What
want
are
Zim to
what
be like,
are you
that's our
allowed-"
stuff.
Exactly. Like, what are
Yeah.
you allowed to take with you when you wash out? Like, what are you taking with you, man?
It's got Ace's fiddle. It's got
Yeah.
The
Rube's head.
Yeah.
Carry this around with me.
Yeah.
When I'm sitting on Zegama Beach, I will. I love that's the way his dad says Zegama Beach. Well, to this day, I always think that's fun. So, and we're about to see the last of his father because he's like,
Oh,
Mom, Dad, I'm coming home. It's
I
I just watched Real Genius again recently. It's like, Mom, Dad, I want to come home.
Yeah.
You're renting out my room to who?
I
So,
really
yeah, he-
dig the way that scene plays out when, he calls his parents to tell him that he's coming, and then they're like, the mom
must be
is-
rain.
Yeah, the weather changes all of a sudden. You find out that
Giant shadow falls over both of them.
yeah, And then I think at that point it switches to Carmen. She's piloting this ship, and then they run into this meteor shower, and the stupidest thing, there's like a break glass in case of meteor kind of thing.
In case you need to like haul ass. This is like when you
She
turn on the
literally
engines.
breaks a little glass panel
Dumb.
to hit a red button, essentially.
Which gives her the engines to 11.
Yeah.
Like, why can't I just turn the engine? I'm the pilot. I should be able to turn the engines to 11 anytime I wish.
Yeah. But it's also like, where's the medic at this point to, wrap up her bleeding hand?
Oh, that's great. So
But
they
yeah,
barely missed the big one that's going to hit.
right.
How fast would that thing have to be traveling
Mm.
for them to get almost hit by it, and then not even a day? Well, I mean, we don't know how much time it is, but it feels like it's only been a day because, before he was being whipped, then the meteor thing happens, and then he quits.
Yeah.
Rico quits, and it's already blown up. It's blowing it up right then. So that thing's hauling ass across the galaxy.
Mm.
Again, if you understand quantum mechanics, this is very simple. Guys.
Right. Yeah. We don't need to explain all of that.
My point is that a ship couldn't get out of the way of something moving as fast as this seems to be moving.
Right. Don't objects
Although-
speed up when they enter the atmosphere?
Well, I mean, once gravity takes hold,
Yeah.
I assume there's some force pulling on you.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter. I don't think. Remember those
A few
meteors?
seconds won't even be matter.
Yeah. Oh, it won't be matter. No,
Well,
it's
it's hitting friction too because you're burning up on entry. So,
Mhm.
Yeah.
but yeah, I would think I always assumed they were off planet training because otherwise there'd be some kind of impact wherever you are on Earth. I
I'm
would
sorry
imagine.
that rock is a planet killer. It's bigger than the
Yeah.
ship. The one that killed the dinosaurs was not
Yeah.
that big.
So if we could take out an entire area like that, no problem.
So you think they're off planet,
I
some other
assumed-
planet?
Yeah, that was
Maybe,
just an
yeah.
assumption I made just because
be.
we're
Maybe they're on
Starship
Uranus.
Troopers. Yeah,
And you know what?
it looks like Mars, a little Mars-ish.
Yeah. I actually read something about that. Like in the book, it's actually set in Canada. Like they're training in Vancouver or something like that.
Yeah,
I
Because
don't
we
know.
took over Canada.
Yeah.
Yeah, same thing. It's basically off planet
Right.
Canada.
Their money's like credits and weird Ferengi
Yeah.
money. What is that, a loon? Get that shit away from me.
Canada.
Oh, Canada.
Because
Well,
they seem to be in the desert when they're going through
Yeah.
basic training or whatever.
Yeah.
So,
Well, they seem to shoot a lot of this in the desert.
Mhm. It was all shot in like Wyoming. They
Mhm.
shot a lot of this stuff in like Vasquez Rocks and Valley of Fire and all the kind of typical Hollywood desert, places.
So the damn bugs whacked them.
Yeah.
That
So I
girl's
like,
line read needed a second reading, but oh well.
I like the way this plays out, especially with as Rico is about to literally leave, he starts to get this sense, the base becomes very urgent and he starts running around like they want more information. That's when he finds out, the what's happened to Buenos Aires. And
he wants to know more.
yeah, I mean,
The only good bug is a dead bug.
Yeah.
yeah,
Guys,
another little
hardcore.
exposition moment. Yeah, this is where we see Carl again, and he's just kind of explaining some of the tricks that they have to kill bugs, and that they're whatever percentage lethal after you removed a couple limbs. So you have to really hit them in that like central nervous system sort of thing. So
Shoot
Yeah.
for their eyeball anus that's in
Yeah.
the front.
Takes them a while to figure out how to
Yeah.
dispatch the bugs in a, I guess, a efficient manner.
yeah. You get the kids like stomping on cockroaches, doing their part.
And the teacher laughing like a maniac.
Yeah.
So yeah, they and that we get you skipped over the scene where he goes back to say he doesn't want to leave,
right.
and Dean Norris is like, "No, sorry, you signed this paper."
Mhm.
It's like, I have to. My whole family was there, and you see Zim pick up the paper, and Zim's like,
Is that your signature?
"It doesn't look like your signature to me."
Yeah,
He
rips
rips
up
it
the-
up, and Dean Norris turns around, and he's back in. So
Yeah.
hell yeah, let's go.
Yeah, and it kicks off a really exciting sequence. I mean, it takes them they're mobilizing basically. They end up on Carmen's ship, and they're they want to get tattoos. They're maybe drinking a little bit. We have the meeting between Carmen and Rico. They get face to face again, and then of course, what's his name, Xander, Patrick Muldoon shows
Xander,
up,
yeah.
and so then
Old
it
man.
becomes the love triangle thing. The jealousy between Rico and Xander takes over, and they kind of have a fight. And I wish it had been more of a infantry versus Air Force.
Elite.
Get a couple people on each side fighting.
Now, I kind of like that it was not about rank. Like he automatically says this isn't about rank and takes off his jacket. Like this is just what you do. Because I like that their military is not as staunch as ours about fighting. They're like, no, if you got to fight,
like hockey, you can have a fight if it's like in service of.
Yeah, don't pull out a knife. We're not gonna let it go that far, but we will let you punch each other in the face.
Yeah,
that's probably how they were raised. Their mothers and fathers probably punched them in the face.
Wait, what?
To teach them to be good.
Oh,
corporal punishment is considered normal in this world.
Yeah,
they whip people.
In this sequence, I found it really strange that over the background, as Rico and Carmen are talking, and they're talking about about Buenos Aires and the fact that it's all gone and everyone they knew, but in the background, "Fade Into You" by Mazzy Star is playing, and it's a very it doesn't really fit this movie. You may not know the name of the song. I didn't know the name of the song, but I know the song. Once you hear it, it's like, oh, it's that song. Okay.
It's a weird movie.
Yeah. Yeah. In fact, I went to, because I wasn't sure if I look up in the credits of the movie and see what songs were included, because I didn't know who sang this song or what the song title was. So I go to YouTube and I searched the song. I was like, oh, okay, it is the song that I was expected it to be. And in the comments of that song on YouTube, someone commented "Here's to all of us who are homesick for a place that no longer exists," which has nothing to do. This person was just commenting on the music video for that song, has nothing to do with Starship Troopers, but that guy's comment fits perfectly with what is happening in this scene, because Rico and Carmen are literally talking about a place we can't go back to, home.
Yeah.
Just weird little, I don't know, but then they mobilize and they're off to war, and now we're kind of caught up to where the movie starts with. I love this. Yeah, the reporter's with them. I love that they all get into these drop ships. I really love the drop ship sequence.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Music's all good too.
The music is great in this sequence. Yeah.
It's very RoboCop.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's very, it really pumps you up for this action sequence. And you feel like, okay, we're about to, fight for our home. We're really it's very a patriotic kind of feeling. This
knowing
sequence.
Nothing about the Emily.
Yeah. The sea anemones they're going down, man.
They know nothing about them.
Yeah.
They're just going in there.
Yeah. And I mean, it definitely has that beach of Normandy feeling, and that is what they intended this sequence to be, is kind of them storming the beaches of Normandy. And I mean, it totally, I think, works on that level.
And now we know we're in the part of the movie we saw earlier. We're now a year later than where the movie started.
Yeah.
And they do a great job. Whoever Paul Verhoeven, but I mean, however they set this scene up, they obviously shot these scenes together at the same time.
Sure. And
then put them together and then created two different versions. That camera, in my mind, I'm wondering, is that camera real when they're shooting even some of the scenes where you don't see the camera footage?
Yeah.
So that it would be the exact same. I mean, I know they do multiple takes, but still, I was like, just have them have a real camera. There's a camera in the scene. So and you're using that camera footage. It'd be great just to have that camera rolling with sound, and that way you can splice it together really easily.
Yeah.
And now you care more, because I remember when I first saw it, first time, you don't know any of the people that are dying.
Sure.
And now you're like, oh no, that's Kit. I know that's Kit.
Yeah. I mean, you first see it and it's like, that looks like Casper Van Dien, and then he gets injured in the leg, so that it's a good way to start the movie for sure, because
you're wondering how I got here.
Yeah, exactly. I like though that as all the drop ships are going down, then suddenly we got all these plasma bursts are coming up from the planet, and now the ships are crashing into each other. Some of the drop ships are not making it, and it does, it adds to that hectic feeling that, especially like even in space, these, the quote unquote, the chair force, the guys that have it easy, it's a battle for them too, and you don't know what this plasma, you don't know where these are coming from.
It's we learn
for a
later
few
it's from the
minutes.
butt of it's from
Yeah.
it's ass juice
Yep.
being shot in the air.
Great
But
reveal.
it's beautiful.
Yeah.
It is beautiful.
Great reveal.
The bug stuff, whoever did the actual like looking up the way bugs defend themselves, top notch work. I don't know if it's real, but damn, it makes me feel like, yeah, these are real bugs.
Yeah. I
We
feel
got this-
bad for the troops and the mobile portable nukes that they're launching,
Yeah.
Oh, those things are awesome. Little handheld
Yeah.
nukes. You put in a
Yeah.
bazooka.
because they're real close. I don't think any of those people are having kids anytime soon,
Well, yeah, they got to get licensed.
unless they have like lead underpants on or something. Who knows?
Yeah, it's funny.
Uh,
It's like maybe it's one like a nuke that doesn't have. They
Like,
figured it out. It's like a
Yeah.
shaped charge. Like
It's just windy.
It's like whoosh. Like, well, that's Fallout.
Yeah.
They gave it. I
pretty-
think Jake Busey isn't he one of the nukers?
I'm at that sequence now. I
Yeah.
think they give it to Rico.
Oh, they do when they do the first one.
Mm.
And this is also when we lose our first the girl. The I want to have babies.
Yeah.
I think her name is Katrina. Maybe
Might
that
be.
was the name of the character.
Yeah, 'cause she kind of retreats, and then what falls into like a
whole.
kind of a
And what we learn
crevasse
is
opens.
later she's gonna get her brain sucked out.
yeah,
She's being taken to the
right.
big fat
Hi.
smart bug.
Yeah, I like how quickly it kind of goes to shit. Basically,
Yeah.
Mhm.
they take out some of these big, plasma shooting bugs, but then a minute later you see there's still like 30 or 40 plasma streams shooting off into the sky. So it's like, yeah, you took out 2 of them kind of with one shot, but there's still,
Hundreds.
20 of them and just over the hill, so it's like it's almost like a victory for a moment, and then they
Yeah.
get swarmed by bugs, and there's all these other plasma discharges, so they're
So it's less of a Normandy and more of a market
Yeah.
garden for you people that actually enjoy history.
Mm.
Market garden, not a successful thing. Normandy, extremely
Yeah.
successful.
right.
So yeah, they get there, they're like, yeah, we're fucking winning. Oh shit, we're getting our ass handed to us
Yeah.
by an entrenched force on their own planet
Yep.
that we know nothing about.
Yeah, I
And
feel
and
like,
they love digging. They dig burrows. There's just it's they almost have guerrilla warfare going on
Mhm.
here.
yeah.
Also in just sheer number.
Yeah.
It's,
Yeah. One of the guys, I'm bad with their names. Gets his leg torn off, and then the bugs kind of like pass him around. and-
Jimmy.
Okay.
Jimmy.
Yeah.
The guy who wanted to go to Harvard.
Yeah. He gets torn to shreds, and then that's when
Yep.
Katrina, runs off, and
Right.
she gets taken.
And then we lose Kitten.
Right.
Kitten.
Yeah, the whole
Because he's like, want some? Want
Yeah,
some?
that's right. The whole squad, just kind of falls apart at this point.
And the one that they kill that kills Kit, because remember Kit's body is also thrown up against the I can't remember if it was the cameraman or it was thrown up against the Rico, maybe one of them. Like part of Kit's body like hits him.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
He falls on the ground, and then the thing they thought they killed rears up one last
Right.
time and hits Rico in the leg. And its
Yeah.
big giant beaky parrot
Mandible,
mouth
Yeah.
goes into his leg. Great effects.
Mhm.
Great goo and blood in this movie.
Hell yeah.
And he's pumping that shotgun until it goes to
Oh,
black.
I was like, how many freaking shots is this awesome? The gun has its own shotgun in the gun.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
love this gun. These guns are great.
I think
You will see them again if you've ever watched these Starship Troopers armor and guns over the next 20 years. You're going to see them in TV shows.
Okay.
Because they
There's a
built
warehouse
all
full of them.
they
Yeah.
built all of these. So sometimes you're like, oh, Starship Trooper armor. Like
Sure.
I've seen it in other shows.
Right.
Usually it's future-ish. Sometimes it's SWAT.
Probably like
but
a
I'm like,
Stargate
Yeah.
the series kind of.
Like the P90 from Stargate was used in everything too. The ones they built for Stargate were used also, but also you'll see the Starship Trooper gun, and you're like, nope. You're like, oh well, someone went to the warehouse. Yeah, these are owned by whoever made this movie. Who made this?
Yeah, because this was Columbia TriStar, so yeah,
it's in some place.
Oh yeah,
they've got rows of these things. Some of them are covered in bug goo, probably still to this day. So yeah, then it fade to black again. You get another fade to black. So they're all dead.
Yeah. I like that there's a brief period. Like, I don't think we ever really think that Johnny Rico is dead.
No.
Well, obviously we know the star of the movie is, but I like that there's a period where Carmen thinks he's dead, and then, but his friends, Flores and Busey, like they know, obviously, and they're kind of having fun with it. Like he's in a back to tank, They're like, yeah, we'll see you in a few days. Hey, you're dead.
Hey, you're dead.
Is that just like a mistake?
I'm sure it was
like I couldn't figure out why they kept him as deceased.
Yeah, that's weird because we learned later he was rescued by Red Checks Roughnecks.
Yeah.
And so I assumed that why they would assume that unless Rico's like maybe they have some personal monitor on them. Maybe their gun, if their gun is destroyed, they can actually digitally know. They're like, oh, another gun dead. They're dead.
Right.
Because I thought there was gonna be some like super secret dead troop or something that could do stuff that other troopers couldn't or something. Like I thought there was gonna be a reason.
Like a it puts him in a Black Ops team.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Like
because now that you've died, you're now you're now disavowed.
Yeah. But now
nope, it goes right back in.
Just a clerical error. Sorry.
And we all that might be just another nod to World War II and the fact that for so many years there was just shit records being taken. And like people like he died. Oh, they went and told the family, oh fuck, he's not dead. Sorry. He's just in Italy. Sorry, we lost your boy. This is what my bad.
Yeah.
They probably just saw he was from Buenos Aires and was like, nobody's gonna care.
Yeah.
His white guy from Buenos Aires? This white? Look at this guy. It's like he's chiseled out of marble. That's not a real person. That's a fake person. Look at him.
I like when the pilots, all these ships return to this star base, and there are starships just laying on top of the star base. You can tell like they limped home, and they're not really like parked where they should be, but it's
one's
just
kind of exploding.
Yeah, a couple of them, have like open fires just in the various, like some of them are just almost ripped in half. Like it is a great slice of like war is hell for for all these people. So I like that the pilots get to experience that too. It's not just the grunts on the ground that go through the shit.
You get a lot more of that if you watch Starship Carl. It sheds a lot of light on that stuff.
Yeah. And then we get obviously the Rico. He does a Luke Skywalker. He's in a back to tank, and then we get another like great battle that shortly after this,
because they are put into Rad Checks Roughnecks, which are the group that saved him. So we meet all the young guys, like all the cool fighters, like not the rookies. These guys have been in. It seems like they may be also from high school. I don't know.
Well, it's like the previous year's recruits, so they've been through a little bit more at this point, but.
Yeah, and so they're now part of Rat Checks Roughnecks, and we meet Michael Ironsides again. They've given his arm, so no more nubbing. Got a robot arm. What's cooler than a Michael Ironside with a Ironside? Nothing.
So it seemed like a lot of the people in there, I don't know if all, because Rico's buddies are there, but a lot have been saved by him.
Yeah,
because one of them knocks out Busey
for calling him a real nutbuster. Yeah, your sergeant's a real lieutenant's a real nutbuster.
Yeah, her and another guy are like, he saved our lives too, or blah blah blah.
Right.
So at first I was like, is this like a group of just people he's saved? But then there's also Rico's friends. So.
Sugar's the dude wearing the tooth that we see later.
Yeah. That is awesome.
Yeah, I like that whole top kid. Who's top kid?
Right.
I like that's again that going back to the way that they fight. There is a hierarchy. They are pitted against each other as a society. It is your job to be the best.
Yeah.
And therefore you must take out the person, not take out like kill, but you must best the person to be the best. It's great. Basically no meritocracy. The merit is based on strength.
Right.
Yeah.
It's not who you know, it's what you do.
Yeah.
Because Michael Ironsides is a teacher, and he got to put a robot arm on and become a badass.
Yeah.
I wonder if you get to go back in as what you left as. Like, was he a lieutenant before? Seems like he's very old to be a lieutenant. So I feel like, yes, he was a lieutenant when his arm got blown off. And then now he's just back as a lieutenant. I mean, he's a lieutenant of mobile infantry, so he's a grunt.
Sure.
So
yeah, I was always kind of confused as to why he got back into it, because I would have assumed he got blown up by the same thing. Since he's from Buenos Aires as well.
I think that's kind of part of it.
Like in the movie, we don't know. Have they fought the arachnid before? I feel like they have.
I think so.
They make it seem like it.
There have been conflicts before. I think they were just maybe in a lull the last couple years, maybe. Like maybe they haven't been bombarding Earth with meteors, and this was now just, this was Pearl Harbor. Sending the meteor to Buenos Aires.
Yeah, I was just surprised he was not in Buenos Aires when the thing hit.
Oh yeah,
it would have made sense.
Yeah. They don't say why he wasn't there.
Maybe he was on vacation.
Sure.
Buenos Aires.
Well, school's over. It's the summer.
That actually makes sense. Yeah, he may have taken a summer vacation.
Luckily, he was off planet getting his robot arm added.
Exactly.
Kisses it every day, just like, thank you so much for saving my life, robot arm.
One thing that I kept thinking about, and it's kind of aliens' fault, aliens. Why don't they nuke these planets from orbit? It doesn't seem like these planets, like it's not like these planets are key locations that Earth wants to colonize. I mean, there was one news, reel that showed that some Mormons tried to set up a colony on one of these planets and they got decimated.
Mormon extremists.
Yeah.
Mormon extremists.
Yeah.
Yes. I love
but
that.
I kept coming back to that. Like, why are you putting boots on the ground? Why not just nuke these, bastards from orbit? And they never really explain that. And maybe it's because a lot of the bugs tend to live underground. So maybe assault from orbit wouldn't really do much good, I guess. But
and maybe they have unobtainium or some kind of weird
material. Yeah,
because
it's one of those odd things
that planet. So man, we can do it.
Or they just don't know. Like they don't know. It seems like they don't know obviously they don't know anything about bug culture, so they don't know how the hierarchy works. They don't know anything. So they're,
of course, as
destroying all those foot soldiers. What does that do?
Yeah, but it's also like as we learn it around this point in the movie and forward, we learn we want to catch a brain bug. There's this rumored brain bug, smart bug that we want to catch. We want one. So I guess it makes sense why they don't just nuke the planet, but
because they talk about it, they talk about the colonies over certain generations get smarter.
Sure.
And so they're like, there's an intelligent bug. And so we know that when they go down there and help out that overrun place with what's his face, the game over guy.
Sure. Whatever general it is.
Quato.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Let's call him General Quato.
Yeah.
General Quato, Paul Verhoeven's lucky charm, I guess. They're look like they seem to have knowledge of the brain bug stuff even before when like they were sent there. I'm wondering if Carl or someone like Carl, if Starship Carl sent them there to look for the bug.
Right.
And then they were attacked and taken and the brain was sucked out. And then they sent the distress call, that kind of thing. Like they were looking for the proof.
I wish they had in this sequence, they talk about the whole, like they made us send a distress call. I wish we had seen a person or this general that's hiding in the little storage locker. Yeah. Like, shouldn't he have a little bug like living in his brain? Like kind of
he
like
didn't do it.
Wrath
they
of
made the
Khan.
other guy do it.
I get that, but I mean, I'd like to see somebody who literally had a bug in them, like in Wrath of Khan, where Chekhov and Paul Winfield had bugs in them. They put things inside us. Because that's, I think the idea that they're trying to convey is that they were implanted with some bugs, and then those people made distress calls to lure the Marines here. But we don't get to see that. We just see the remnants of a couple people with their holes in the top of their head. So
Maybe they're like Carl and they can suggest.
and that could be it. Yeah, there could be a suggestion element here. Yeah. But we get an awesome sequence where, like, right before all that, when the Marines are like just kind of doing recon, they fight one of these big tank bugs. Like it's like a napalm spewing bug, and
I love that scene.
Yeah.
It like melts the arm off of the one lady who is in command. Like it melts her arm with
Top
this
kid.
napalm stuff. And
Her name's
Rico has
Corporal Birdie.
Okay.
Yeah, Corporal Birdie. I'm looking it up. Not Body, Birdie.
Rico has a awesome, sequence where he jumps on the back of this thing.
Yeah.
It's another Star Wars, it's Luke versus the AT-AT, chucks a thermal detonator into the backside of it.
I think,
but it's cool.
For the goop inside, they
Yeah.
must have gotten that from the Tremors movie.
Oh, it's very orange. Yeah.
Tremors. Yeah.
It's very pumpkin. I like that when each animal that gets them, they each are covered in different color goo. And as they're standing out there in that obviously really hot sunlight, it starts to dry. It's looks great because they're like one is like Diz is complete, half of her body is covered in green, and Rico's covered halfway in orange. It's very bright and I love it. I saw that one of the notes, the fun facts is that Jake Busey was one of many people that got heat stroke when they were shooting all these scenes out in the desert. They said like 25 a day were being treated for heat stroke.
What?
From wearing those costumes, those bulky uniforms.
Yeah.
Even though they don't have arms on them, they're still.
Sure.
Oh, and we learn Ratchek's big thing is like, if I'm going to die, I want you to shoot me.
Yeah.
So that I'm not, like I'm not suffering. So he shoots one of his men who gets taken by I don't know what you call them because they're like flying bugs, but they can also cut your head off with their wings.
Yeah.
Pterodactyl razor.
Yeah. Razor bugs.
I don't know.
I'm sure on the wiki it says what they are, but I'm not gonna look that up. That's not real. That's not canon. That's legends. So he shoots him. So we learn kind of that thing, which is basically don't ever
death over getting mutilated by bugs. Yeah. Which
and he makes Rico his sergeant.
Yeah.
Until he finds somebody better.
Yeah.
Until you die or you find somebody better, which is how I live my life.
Sure.
Does the infantry know about the smart bug?
I don't feel like it.
Think so yet.
So I was also wondering if he was trying to kill him so they couldn't suck his brain or something.
Right. Well,
but no, I mean because he seems to because he's like attacking it. The slicer bug is like sticking its things in his chest. So
okay.
Yeah.
No, I like that part because they look at him kind of like, oh my god.
Yeah.
And he's like, I would expect the same. So
odd moment after like the small victory that they have. Ratchek like presents the camp at night with these two big, containers. One has beer and one's like a recreation kind of thing.
One has soccer balls and violins.
Yeah, like
and football.
It's got a football and then there's violin. It's like, is the violin a standard issue recreation package, or is it like, well, I know that I've got Ace here and he plays. Is it specific to him? Because if so, I mean, man, Ratchek is really accommodating
on his shit.
Yeah. And we get there's a sequence with Rico and Dizzy and their relationship, kind of takes off here. And
it's it's still very platonic, even though there is sex. I know that doesn't make sense, but it's almost like, hey, we're friends. We should just have sex. Yeah. Okay.
Why not?
Let's have fun.
There's an odd moment though in the actual sex scene. She takes her shirt off and it kind of it either gets hung up for a second and it essentially is masking most of her face. Like they can still kiss, like her mouth is exposed. But I didn't know if that was Rico masking her and maybe imagining Carmen for a brief minute. And
I never thought of that.
It's because it hangs there like long enough that it's like he's literally keeping it on her, like basically covering half of her face, just so that they can kiss. And there's nothing really made. There's nothing made of this moment. It just happens, and then she gets the shirt off, and they continue fooling around. But I don't know. It just stood out to me as being like, is he still hung up on Carmen and thinking like, well, if I imagine you're Carmen, I can be into this. But I don't know.
That would have been a weird tone.
Yeah.
I think he's over Carmen, at least as knowing that she's over him. So he's like, whatever.
Yeah.
I think it's basically because Radchek basically gives him the song lyrics. You can't be the one you love the one you're with.
Yeah. Yeah.
Dee doo dee doo dee doo dee dee.
At some point, they get a distress. This is where they get the distress call.
Yeah.
So Ratchek, says, "Oh, we're moving out in like 10 minutes," and he's like, "Oh, I'll give you 20 minutes," and lets them continue to fool around.
I don't need to have sex 5 times.
Yeah. Yeah.
What am I gonna do with 20 minutes?
What do we do with the other 18 minutes? So this is where they go on patrol. And...
You want to play football after 2 minutes of sex? We could do that for a little scrimmage. I can have Ace bring the fiddle.
Oh man,
I wish he carried it around with him for the rest of the movie,
right
behind on his back. So then we get to the big scene this is a big scene.
Yeah, they make
it's
it
all
to this
set.
fortress.
That set is so nice.
Mm-hmm.
Got a full set, and the bugs have laid a trap. We see the first rubber body with its head dug in.
Yeah.
And Radchik just sticks his robot fingers right in the hole.
Yeah,
they're robot fingers. What do I care? And it's like all sticky. And then
I thought it was odd that Dizzy gets grossed out by that. Where it's like they establish at the beginning of the movie
that she's not bothered by
like bugs,
like bug guts. Yeah.
Maybe it just smells bad. Maybe this guy had a stinky head.
Yeah.
And then General Quado's like, they sucked his brain out, which in the theater, I laughed out loud at that. I was like, that's crazy.
The funny thing to me in this kind of sequence, they're reconning this base and they find the general. The general falls out of this little storage locker, and Ace says "General on deck" or like "Officer on deck." Like he literally has the razor sharp wit to know we're in the presence of an officer. He's literally fallen on the ground, and hey, we're not going to help him up. We have to stand at attention. Just that really. That
I like that General Quado stands up and does the Picard maneuver. And pulls down the front of his tunic to get it all back to normal. Like you guys are heroes.
Yeah. So I wanted the general to have a bug in him, and maybe he was still part of this the trap. Like
I gotcha.
No,
he's just a piece of shit.
Yeah,
which is even better because the way he dies is great.
When he gets killed, Ace, then he kind of smiles at Johnny. He's like, did you see that? That was awesome.
Did you see that thing landed on his head?
Yeah.
So this is the scene that I'm sure the AV guys are like, Jesus Christ, it's gonna take forever to render.
Yeah.
They have about 1 billion bugs come out, and that sound, the noise of all the bugs, it's so great.
Yeah.
This is the daylight shot.
Yeah.
Just watch that shot and find me errors in the thing, and you cannot.
As I was watching it, I thought this is a scary Helm's Deep, because Helm's Deep is known for like being this amazing battle sequence, and they did the huge task of having all these orcs and urukai, digitally created, and it's like these guys did this like 5 years earlier, and it still holds up. It looks great. And it's scary because you got all these bugs skittering over the wall.
Because they grab you and throw you in. Yeah. They take you off the battlement and throw you in like to the crowd.
Oh man,
I love that.
Yeah, I like the it reminded me of World War Z where they were just climbing up bug corpses.
It's definitely got a World War Z. I'm sure they were like, this is the kind of scurry. We want them to always be moving forward no matter what's underneath them.
Yeah, they hit like a wave, and you can't. By the time you're aiming at the ones closest to you, the ones 30 yards away are already about to kill you because those are the ones you have to worry about. But you're too busy focusing on the ones right in front of you because you have to, obviously. But
there's no way they survive this.
No.
They call in a pilot. They are basically surrounded. They are just using all of their weapons.
Yeah, yeah.
They got like 40 people, maybe.
Yeah.
I don't
Something
know.
like that. Sure.
And
I like
it-
these flying bugs. They start to dive bomb them, and then they
Yeah.
just cut their heads off. You know.
Yeah. Awesome.
Yeah.
And
But
they
it
got these
takes, like-
giant guns at the corners, and they're pulling
Mhm.
down they're smart enough to know to pull down the reinforcement that's
Right.
holding these bases seem like they can kind of be folded out
Yeah.
really
yeah.
easily.
Maybe assembled from orbit. They probably drop them from orbit,
yeah.
and
They
they
kind
kind
of
of fold as they land, or easily
open.
constructed. Yeah.
Yeah.
Modular kind of.
And then
setup.
General Quado dies.
Yeah.
He's hit by, they shoot one of the flying ones and it lands right on General Quado.
Yeah. This is like at some point here, Ironside, he is trying to rally his troops.
Mhm.
And it's the second time in the movie that someone says, "You want to live forever?" The first time it's Clancy Brown quoting Highlander.
Mhm.
And now it's Ironside, who was also in a Highlander, quoting, saying the same line.
We don't talk about that Highlander.
Right.
The Highlander that shall not speak its name.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it is funny that he says that. And then the next big thing is there's a bug underneath them.
Yeah.
They've dug
Mhm.
underneath, and Radchek and a couple other people kind of go down a little bit. Radchek's the one that fills the hole though,
Yeah.
and they start eating him, which is awesome.
Right. I think in my memory,
Maybe not eating.
Ratchek goes down and takes like a grenade with him and takes out this bug. But instead, this is like he has Johnny Rico kill him.
Yeah,
kind
because
of-
he's eating off his legs. He's been
Right.
mobile infantryed.
right.
Yeah. He's like, I don't want to push papers like that, dude.
Yeah.
I don't want to ever be on a desk job. No. And Diz, another fun fact. All my things are fun facts, whether they're fun or not.
We'll be the ones to tell you.
The actress Dina, she got a concussion and passed out in that scene when she falls in that hole.
Okay.
She hit her head so hard that she passed out.
Dang.
They had to stop the scene.
Hmm.
Yeah, if you see she falls down, she hits her head on the side as she's going down.
Huh.
Yeah, she conked her brain good.
That is a fun fact.
Yeah, there you go. Okay, well there you go. It was a fun fact. Awesome.
Yeah, I don't like her death coming right on the heels of Ironside.
Michael
Like,
Ironsides?
yeah, I don't like that Dizzy dies here.
Yeah, I don't like that she dies at all.
Yeah, agreed.
And her last line is awful. I don't like her death. Especially knowing that Carmen's in the plane with her.
Right. Yeah.
I did not enjoy that because Carmen seems more confused than this is also the acting of a person that's never acted before. Denise Richards.
Sure. This was her first.
I would say
feature.
she's better. I mean, she's not the best actress in the world, but I would say she's not this bad as she is.
No,
in
she's
this.
fine.
Yeah. In this, she's not good.
Mm.
Most of this movie, she's not that good.
Yeah.
You're kind of like, we know why you were hired. Like,
Sure.
it was probably 80% looks.
All right.
Because she looks sad, but also confused. Because Diz dies, she throws a grenade like a football and kills one of the big things and then turns around and then just gets absolutely shredded.
Which they ruin in the trailer because I include the trailer in our previous movie, so I watched the trailer and they totally telegraphed this moment where
That sucks.
Johnny is in slow motion and he's looking and kind of yells out to Dizzy, and then they cut it right before she gets killed, but you can tell she's about to die. So I don't know why they would put that in a trailer.
I don't know.
Yeah. I always thought she'd die saving Carmen or something.
Yeah.
Well, they said this. They also, that was another reason they were test audiences were mad that Diz dies and not Carmen.
Yeah.
Especially at the end of this movie with the ridiculous amount of things that happens to Carmen. And she walks away like she's like, la, la, la.
Yeah.
At the end of this movie.
But I guess they were smart enough. They cut a kiss between her and Carmen and Rico. Because it's like she's coming off the heels of Xander just being killed and then going through that whole ordeal underground. And then they would then kiss,
Yeah.
So
I think she should kiss Rico
to...
right now in front of Diz as she dies and coughs up on her own blood. Why? Why not? Remember, they're fascists. It's fine.
It's fine.
And she's like, at least I got to have you. An awful line. Awful line. That's gross. I don't even get it. It makes no sense. Like, because I got to have your sweet dick. now I could die. I'm like, that's terrible. Bad part of the. I'm sure the movie they're like, well, we have to kill somebody.
Yeah, I think
we can't kill Ace. Everyone loves Ace.
I think Ace should have.
Oh no, he's the best. Are you kidding?
Because he just wants to be a soldier. Because he learned like he's not meant to be an officer, right?
I just want to fight.
I think he is the sensible like person who would die for his friends. So yeah, but let's see. Then everyone, they retreat. Basically, they get back up to the ship, and then this is where we get Carl. He returns and full on just Gestapo, like head to toe in black leather, wearing the same kind of like officer's cap. Even the emblem is like this Iron Eagle kind of design.
Yeah.
On set, he was called Doogie Himmler.
Oh man,
they called him that.
I read that Verhoeven was like, he knew what he was doing, but he said that no one else really realized what I was doing here. But I don't know how you could be in these scenes and not realize what they're trying to.
You don't think Casper Van Dien and Neil Patrick Harris were standing there going, dude, we're Nazis.
Right. Are we the baddies?
I think we're the bad guys. I think the bugs are the good people. So they do a Star Trek, a Star Trek 3, a Star Trek 2, Wrath of Khan. They shoot her, they shoot Diz into space.
Yeah.
Which is like, okay, I guess that seems like a waste.
Yeah.
Lots of things.
Is that where she wants to be buried? Like out in orbit of this planet that she just
Johnny,
got killed
don't
on?
bury me in space.
Yeah. I really like. I love though that Carl then shows up literally on the heels of them shooting her into space. And yeah, he's got these bags under his eyes. You can tell. He
doesn't even say like, sorry, Diz, bye.
No.
You danced with her a year ago at your prom.
Yeah, he looks dead.
Yeah. Yeah.
Hundreds of people like you to their death.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, it's great. It's great. They've been elegant. They thought there was a brain bug. They sent him in. Carmen's aghast that he would do this. He says, tough, it's simple numbers. They have more of them. We have to find this brain bug.
Yeah.
And
it's weird to me that Carl is basically in charge. Like this, you're still too young to be like calling the shots, but it seems like he is like in charge of this whole thing. Yeah. And he puts Rico in charge of this unit. And at this point, Rico quotes Ironside, Ratchek, and says, until I get killed or you find someone better,
everybody fights. No one quits. If you don't fight, I'll shoot myself.
But I don't like that Rico is already quoting Ratchek at this point, because then he goes and he's face to face with the remaining squad, all these soldiers, and
they're all kids.
Gives him another one. Yeah, it's like the younger recruits, and he's got Sugar is standing behind him. Sugar is like the last remaining Ratchek. What do they call them? Roughnecks. Yeah. Hooah. So why are you quoting the guy that just died for all of you in front of the guy that served with them longer? That you somehow
surpassed.
Yeah, it doesn't fit here. I like it later in the movie when Rico's still like commanding squads and everything. Mm-hmm. That's where it fits.
Yeah. They might have shot it in multiple places and they kept it in, and they're like,
that could be.
We probably should have. I mean, I'm sure now they'd be like, okay, we should take it out of the first one. Because it being in the second one is good.
Yeah.
Like at the end when he's like, come on, you
want to live forever? Yeah, something like that. But then it's like you don't have any of your own original thoughts. You're just quoting the guys that.
Because he's dim. Rico's dumb.
That's true.
At the end of the day, Rico is not smart.
Yeah.
Sounds tough.
Yeah. You're right.
Does sound tough.
Steal from
I guess they're now getting recruits from middle school.
Yeah.
Now these kids look like they were in high school.
Yeah. But it's like the idea here is that this is how our heroes looked to the other squads when they started a year ago. So it's that same idea of like look at a high school student now, and it's like I never looked that young. So
yeah, they're going back to Clint Athu. They're gonna go get the brain bug.
all the ships
This
are
is the big finale.
mobilizing. It's weird that all the ships are like coming in at such tight formation,
They
knowing
know about the
Yeah.
stuff.
yeah, you know
Yeah.
about
Butt
the
juice.
butt juice, so why not come in from a different angle, from a different quadrant, you know? But
Spread
yeah,
out. The
right?
butt juice. They have to shoot this before they. How do they know where the?
right.
I think they're just shooting it into space.
You aim at where the ship's going to be, not where you
Yes.
miss 100% of the shots you don't take.
Aim small, miss small. That is my butt juice mantra.
Yeah. But yeah, then the Roger Young, the main ship that our people are on, gets like
Our
split
Enterprise.
in half.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's really cool. Like it's a cool sequence. Like it's a all hands abandoned ship and all that.
When we lose the lady from Wisteria Lane. From,
Yeah. From
she's the
Seinfeld.
she's also the voiceover from Desperate Housewives.
Okay.
She's the one who died at the beginning, the first
I
episode.
never watched
and then
any of it.
Well, she's the voiceover. She's the
Yeah.
oh yes.
To me, she's just
Brenda
a
Strong.
Seinfeld,
Yeah.
character of the week. But then she's been in so much. I mean, she's a very recognizable
Oh, yeah.
character actor. I wish I had her name in front of me, but
They got to get out, and she gets chopped in half by the door,
the door, yeah.
as one does.
Hell yeah.
She gets chopped in half.
A fun callback here for Brenda Strong, former captain.
Former captain.
She
She's
she
now
was in-
twice the captain
she's
she
twice.
was before.
yeah.
Travis and I were going for the same joke at the same time.
She was in Spaceballs, which everyone knows is
No
the greatest
kidding.
sci-fi film ever made.
Oh god.
She was
she?
the nurse that was part of the nose job joke,
Oh yeah. Oh my God. Yeah, you're right.
where they're gonna give her back her old nose, and she's got her
No.
cleavage hanging out.
Yeah.
Yeah. So she's had space travel in her background before.
Okay.
Spaceballs, Starship Troopers. But yeah. Just want to give my favorite movie of all
Yeah.
time another plug.
Oh god.
Travis's favorite as well.
Oh, I know Travis. That is a lie. Travis does not like it.
Well, it's his favorite to make fun
That
of.
movie has two good redeeming jokes.
Brenda Strong's breasts.
Sure. Three good.
That's two of them.
The combing the desert, we
Yep.
ain't found shit. That
Yep.
Tuvok.
that holds up with Tuvok, yeah.
Mhm.
And the other is the dark helmet, and then his like right hand, like looking at the
Colonel
screen, then
Sanders.
looking at the
Yeah.
camera, looking.
Where are
you
we
know.
now?
Yeah,
What's
that
happening
whole
now?
that bit that works, but
Travis, that's Colonel Sanders.
oh
I mean,
sure,
come on.
Yeah,
okay.
come on.
What are you, chicken?
I'm surrounded by assholes.
See? Gold everywhere you look.
Everywhere you look. This movie
play
though
with
is much more quotable. I quote Starship Troopers all the time.
Hmm.
I don't know why.
You
There's
wanna live
really
forever?
nothing that it goes
Yeah.
with, but I do it all the time.
I'm picturing you yelling at your children.
Yes, a lot. It's a lot of that.
You
Medic.
want to live forever? Medic, yeah. That's awesome.
And
I do say
so,
the only good bug is the dead bug. I say
Yeah.
that in the house.
At this point, it all felt kind of new to me. Like I said, I think I've seen the ending of the movie maybe once, so this
Okay.
all felt really unfamiliar to me. But yeah, so the Xander and Carmen, they've taken an escape pod and happened to crash land right where the infantry needs to be. So they've wound up underground with the brain bugs and
And the bugs that they were dissecting from the beginning of the movie.
mhm. Yeah,
are the,
yeah.
the little carrier bugs that carry around the brain. I would call them chariot bugs. I don't know.
Mm. I like that.
Thank you. I'm good at naming things.
The whole brain bug thing, once it comes out and it takes Xander, that is genuinely creepy.
Oh my God. That line, someday someone like me is going to kill your entire fucking race.
Yeah.
I love that line. Is so fascist.
Why do you
It-
quote that to
it
your kids all the
hurts.
time?
What? Yeah, I say that to my kids so often. Oh, it's so good. It's such a good line. It's such a good line because he knows he's gonna die. He
Yeah.
gives his knife to Carmen. Oh, it's so good.
Yeah.
And then this horrible thing goes in his brain, and then he is literally sucked dry, and you
yeah.
see the meat of his brain
He's-
sucked into this
Oh,
vagina shaped whatever. Well, it's
Yeah.
shaped like a brain with a vagina
Right.
with a spike. It's a lot going on.
Yeah, I think
Look, I didn't know the female reproductive system looked like this, but I've never seen the spike. I don't even know where it is. I
Right.
think it's a myth. But yeah, it was disturbing. I remember my wife being like, oh, okay. Like, I'm kind of almost done with this movie. I'm like, hey, the good thing is it's almost over.
Right.
This is a movie from the late 90s. It's like 90 minutes, 95 minutes long, you know?
Where do you think the Patrick Muldoon husk is now?
It's owned by some pervert in Hollywood who wanted a Starship Troopers memorabilia. It was sold at one of those auctions that none of us can ever. I always see things about the auctions.
Yeah.
Never know when they are. I would love to bid. I don't know how much they start at. They start at $5. I'll start at $5 for a Patrick Muldoon husk. How much is that husk? Full body husk? Yeah. I'll take it.
I kind of hope that Casper Van Diem really got into character and he purchased it just to, show him who's boss.
Right.
Someone needs to check on what does Patrick Muldoon look like? Does he look like the sucked out husk now, or is he
look like Ironsides?
I'm looking for. Guess what?
Yeah.
Still handsome.
Okay. Yeah.
Little puffy, but shit, he's like my age.
Okay.
He's 50 at least. I'm not 50, but he's close. He's 54. Holy shit. He looks great for 54.
He's so beautiful.
He's so pretty. He didn't get any work done. Let's just put it that way.
Right.
He looks like
Naturally.
you should look. He looks like a person should look. He doesn't look like a cat. Does that make sense?
Yep.
Dig at Denise Richards.
Let's look at Denise Richards. What does she
I
look
don't know
like?
what she looks like anymore.
I saw her a couple years ago in the Blue Mountain State TV show.
She looks good. She definitely has
not bad.
She had some lip stuff done, but I mean, she was married to two nightmares.
Yeah.
What, Richie Sambora?
Oh, okay.
Was it
Charlie Sheen, right?
Yeah. Wait, was it Richie Sambora? Now
I don't know. I
no,
knew Charlie Sheen.
Aaron Pfeiffer's. No, who's? I'm gonna look it up. I thought my wife would know this, but she's not. She's not near me where I can yell at her.
Yeah.
You're getting kicked out of the Denise Richards fan club.
Yeah.
No, Richie Sambora was what's her face? Valley Bertinelli, I think.
Heather Locklear.
Are you just going through the cast of Melrose Place?
I don't know. I'm just.
I thought she was married to somebody in Bon Jovi.
Well, that would only be
So it had to be
the drummer,
Mr. Jovine Bone.
yeah, the drummer.
Jovine Boney.
Bovine Joni himself. Yeah, I mean at this point the grunts they show up. How does it play out? They suck out Muldoon's
I've got a bomb, and he talks to him like you would talk to someone from another country.
That's right.
Because you're some kind of big fat smart bug. And he's got
yeah.
So yeah, they basically the chariot bugs take the brain bug
That's right.
away from the nuke.
Yeah. And then okay, so it's Carmen and Rico, they escape.
And remember, Rico had a Peter tingle.
Right.
He knew which way to go.
Yep.
He went off mission to go. Because even Ace is like, "Hey, man, no offense, but I think your girlfriend's dead."
Yeah.
And he's like, "If you go off mission, they'll hang you for it." But he's like, "I know." He's like, "You guys keep on mission. I'm going to take Sugar, and go get her." And they go down and get her.
It's Carl's learning how to mess with
Starship
human brains.
Carl's learning how to do humans.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I think they make it out one exit, and then as
Sugar has to blow up has to blow up the nuke.
Yeah.
He says,
that's right.
Some,
he stays behind, doesn't
some.
he? Yeah. He sacrifices himself. Yep.
Because he got hit. He gets a slice in the stomach.
Right.
But it's funny because he was already sliced. If you saw his scar, he had a slice across it. They just finished it.
Yeah. Finish the job. And then you get from like another access point in the cave. They're like dragging the brain bug. Like the rest of the soldiers are dragging this brain bug out, and they've captured it. And then this is when Carl shows back up, and he like does the like bug whisperer kind of thing. And,
Carl do you see behind him Dale Dye?
Yeah, Dale Dye
from
famous
all army movies ever.
Yeah, military consultant.
Which is weird on a fake fascist sci-fi movie, but okay.
Yeah.
I guess they do have to be taught how to be troops,
Mm-hmm.
whether or not it's real or not. Like,
And the
this is
actors, they did a form of boot camp. They
oh,
went
he loves
to
that. They'll
actor-
die. That's his
Yeah.
meat and potatoes. He makes money teaching Hollywood actors.
And I read that it wasn't required of Denise Richards to do the boot camp stuff with everyone else because her character doesn't go through that. But she wanted to do it. She wanted like the bonding with her actors and everything, and
Smart.
she went through it. Yeah,
Good for her.
yeah.
And we find out that Zim caught the bug. Because we learned way back in the movie, Zim wanted to go fight, and he'd have to demote himself to private,
right,
and start. So he's Private Zim.
Yeah, he gets he captured the bug.
He won't be a private for long,
right?
Yeah. I always wondered how they got it into the net. I'm picturing like a Looney Tunes-esque kind of scenario. Like they set it up and it hit something and snared it and took care of the chariot bugs. I don't know.
Yeah.
I love that he's like, it's afraid, and everybody's like, yay, it's afraid.
I could have told them that.
And it gets so dark. I mean, the movie's over, but it still gets darker because there's a little like postscript kind of wrap up with the bug, and they jam this huge needle into it, and they're like torturing this thing.
It's a needle with a opener, like a speculum.
Oh, it's so
so bad,
so dark.
So dark. And the movie ends kind of with them kind of being like all hand in hand, like, here we are, three best friends.
Yeah, that bugged me.
That's dumb. Bug.
Because
I get it.
The movie starts out with this trio, right? And to me, the trio should at the end be Dizzy, maybe Ace and Rico. Like it's the movie has, these characters have grown. They're not the same like best friend, group that they started with. So it just feels fake at the end.
Yeah.
I wish there was a trio.
I think you need another T-shirt to go along with your Starship Troopers was right T-shirt. I think you need one of the three of them, a silhouette of the three main characters standing at the bottom. It just says "fuck Diz," because that's basically what they're saying. Kind of like, man, life couldn't get any better.
Right? We didn't want her to join us at the beginning. We don't want her now.
She's not part of our life then. She's not part of our life now. I think Karma took care of her. Not
right.
Carmen. Karma.
Yeah.
It doesn't ring true. But the end has the great music and the
it ends with the hey, join today.
We'll fight and they'll fight and they'll win.
Yeah.
Join. It's
Carmen's
like join.
Now the captain of the whatever ship this
Jolly
is
Roger.
Now. Yeah.
Amy
Rico
Smart's there.
Yeah. Rico and Ace are like still kind of leading their own. It's now Rico's.
Ace is still a private. Ace is still a private. They're like, follow Ace, private Ace. I love that he just wants to be a private. It's great.
Yeah. The thing I really like about the aspect of the end of this movie is the victory here wasn't to win the war. It was to capture one brain bug.
Right.
And
so they can know how they think.
It ends with like, the war isn't over, they're still fighting. I like that open-endedness, it's still it's a victory, but it's like it's a battle victory, not a war victory.
Well, it's like they would have in a old promotion in World War II. They would show you,
right?
Here we are at the Battle of Anna.
We got Jerry on the run.
Yeah, make sure you buy war bonds because we're gonna keep on fighting. It was, it's that they're still doing. They're still. They don't do war bonds. They don't need money. They need physical people.
Yeah,
they need you to join. And the guns. I love everything's been ramped up. The spaceships are cooler. The guns are even bigger and shoot even bigger stuff. Awesome.
I hadn't really noticed that the guns changed.
Oh yeah, the guns changed. They're now we have new weapons, and the guy shoots like the top of a mountain off. It's pretty great. And then the ships are all like sleeker, like our Gen 2s.
Yeah,
first ones kind of look more like literal dustbusters, not the phasers from TNG, but actual dustbusters. And these new ones look like slippers because they're smooth. So great movie.
Mm-hmm.
Movie I would recommend.
Well,
I give it three. I'm trying to think what I give it. I give it 3 Patrick Muldoon husks out of 3.
Okay. What would you give it out of 5? Just out of curiosity.
5. I give it 5 brain bug sphincters out of 5.
Nice.
You want to keep going? I'll keep going.
No, I don't need anyone else's scales. I just need our 5-star scale.
Yeah.
What do you give it, Travis? Now having seen it the whole way through.
Yeah, I mean it is man.
But giving it a little, you got to think about it. This was a 25-year-old movie,
right?
You didn't see it in the movie theater, so you don't
Sure.
have that. Like I have that love for it that you have when you see something. You're like, this is great.
It's
what did
weird.
you,
like
seeing it now.
As I was watching it, I really liked the lead up and the build up and getting to know the people before they go to boot camp. So I was really enjoying all that. But then once they get to boot camp and it's about training and then they go to war, it's like I would rather the movie start with boot camp. I would cut out the 20 or 30 minutes at the beginning.
Yep.
Maybe not make the movie shorter, fill it with other things, but I don't need the high school stuff, the dance, the football. I don't need any of that. Just start it and develop their backstory. Tell me why Rico is here. But yeah, I mean, it's a solid, fun movie. It's up there with like, I kept thinking as I was watching it, like it definitely feels like a Verhoeven, but it also feels like a Fifth Element movie. Like it's up there with that, like just quirky and weird, but
they
like
don't explain everything.
But there's nothing wrong with the movie, really. It's purely enjoyable from start to finish. I mean, I can't think of anything to knock it for, really. So I'd say a 5.
Nice. Yeah, I'm a 5 just because I've watched this at least 50 plus times, and I agree. The first 20 minutes after you've seen it a couple times, you're like, yeah, I'm good.
Yeah, go to the good stuff.
Yeah, I don't need 90210 again.
I like that you used the Fifth Element as a reference because that is the perfect way. Because in that world, there's credits and all this stuff that they don't ever explain how multi-passes work and why we have like all the it's just unexplained. I like that. Sure. I wish there was a little more of that. I think it's light on details as to it's mostly leaning on we're fascists and everything's militaristic and just it's a military movie. Doesn't matter they're using lasers, it's all the same. I kind of wish there was more. I don't know. Like we see nothing about the Sky Marshals. We don't know any reason why they were doing anything. All we do know is one guy made a mistake, so he steps down immediately and is replaced. Okay. Again, not a meritocracy. You don't get to just because you're the Sky Marshal. Well, I made a mistake, so I'm just going to keep making mistakes. So like, nope, you shit the bed, next person. So that's pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah. I would have liked to nix the first 20 and given it more Carl time. Because
Oh yeah. Give me a
Carl.
15-minute Carl.
Yeah, we get nothing for him. He's like out for most of the movie, then back in his fancy coat.
His training.
Makes a cameo in one of the videos, but
because especially if you're going to start the movie with it being a trio, but being those 3, and then you end the movie with those 3, then we need some Carl. We need a segment at least and we get a brief thing with him showing how to kill the bug, but that's nothing, So that's one thing I could ding this movie for is if it's about these 3 characters, then you're not giving us 1/3 of this tripod.
And of the 4 main actors, Dina Meyer is a better actress than Denise Richards, and it would have been better to have those 3.
Yeah,
with Neil Patrick, but again, fuck Diz.
Fuck Diz. Hashtag fuck Diz. I read that Dina Meyer, like, she wanted to play Dizzy. She liked the character. She liked how grounded she was. Like she was,
so a woman who knows what she wants.
Yeah, and she was a roughneck. She was just in the shit with Rico, and like she wanted to be that character specifically. So,
I love it. I love her in that.
Yeah,
she's great in it.
Let's back up and do the most heroic and most villainous. What did I write down for most villainous? Let's start there. Oh yeah, I wrote down the scientists are the villains of this movie because they're shady as fuck. Because
they are.
Yeah,
like there's some dark shit going on with these scientists. And because you can't really call the bugs villains, really. I mean, I don't know. What do you guys think?
We went
Yeah.
to their
Yeah.
we went to their system.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it's hard to tell. We don't know much about the brain bug. If maybe there's
Yeah.
an evil plot afoot that we're not aware of.
Yeah.
But, on
Most
the
heroic
surface, yeah.
for me is Rico and the big big bug that he rides.
Yeah.
The
Yeah.
orange goo
Yeah,
bug.
that's my favorite. That's my
That was
most
my
heroic.
number one as well. My
It's just
runner
shot
up,
well too. It looks
Yeah.
great.
my runner up to that is Watkins at the sugar, I guess, at the end,
Mhm.
Yep.
taking out the nest with the nuke.
Yeah, most villainous for me. God, that's hard. Since you took the villainy, it might be his parents' manipulation
Oh.
of him.
Okay.
It's pretty bad. Like,
Yeah.
he wants to join, and she's like, "You just want to join because you think she's pretty in a uniform," kind of thing. It's like, Mom. I mean, I don't know if it's villainous or if they were right. Were they right? Hashtag Rico's parents were right. No, but you have so many shirt ideas right now.
Yeah.
You guys are gonna have so much.
You
in
won't be
the
able
movie,
to find them on TeePublic because
if you-
their
fuck
site sucks.
TeePublic.
But
Look, did you notice in the credits what his mom and dad are named? It's Mr.
no.
Rico and Mrs. Rico.
Nice.
And I'm like, is Rico his last name? Yeah, because he's
Yeah,
Johnny Rico.
Johnny.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
In the
Mr.
book,
and Miss-
it's Juan Johnny Rico. Like his nickname's Johnny,
Gotcha.
but it is Juan Rico.
He looks like a one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Casper Van Dien, noted.
There can be only
Juan.
one.
Ah, there it is. Well, speaking of there can be only one, Juan. Jonathan,
Wow,
what are you
just-
working on?
Just skipped over me.
Did I?
Oh my God.
Oh man.
How dare you?
Fuck you, Diz. You're Diz.
Yeah. See, I always identify with
Just
Diz,
go
so
bleed
this
in the
is
corner.
perfect.
Shut up.
Yeah.
We're walking off into the sunset arm in arm. Right?
Yeah.
The problem
Sitting
was
over here.
Jonathan queued me up for a perfect segue into his
I know.
plugs.
It's fine.
But
You-
let's derail everything for you, Patrick.
As it should be. All right. So what were we talking about?
I don't know. You tell us.
villainous, heroic.
Yeah. I mean, the good ones are gone, so I'm going into the bench here.
Yeah.
So villainous, I'm gonna go Sergeant Zim and his mutilation of his recruits,
Okay.
whether that be the knife to the hand or a
We
broken
didn't even
arm
talk about
right
that,
away.
One cannot push a button
Yeah.
if one does not have a hand.
Yep. Yeah, you could have just said that.
That fake hand was
No.
so huge.
And
know.
also,
It's
if
like-
you watch really,
Suddenly it
watch
was a
really
catcher's
closely,
mitt.
you can see the thing coming out of it, not
Yeah.
into it.
Yeah. And then the most heroic is off screen with Rico being saved.
Oh.
and, by
By the
Ironside
The
Next.
Roughnecks. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
that's a good one.
Like it.
No
It's
one,
very
no one's
heroic in my
the
mind.
heroic medic doesn't get a heroic. That
That
medic is taking care of
Medic.
all of them. That back to
When-
tank.
When dude gets shot in the face and Rico says, "Medic."
Yeah, the
He's
medic
missing his
failed that one.
face.
If you want to have, you want the two for collection, you can have the Rube carcass with the giant hole in his head, and also the sucked out brain of Patrick Muldoon.
Oh man.
Husk.
Yeah.
One's much thicker. The other one's very.
Yeah.
All right. Sorry to derail.
You were going to ask me what I'm working on right now.
I was, yeah.
I do a lot of things. You may have heard me before on the show, and if you don't like me, I apologize. But if you do, I do both Cast and the Furious, which is about the Fast and Furious movies, Minute Impossible, which is breaking down the movie, the Mission Impossible movies. We're on the third one, still on hiatus. And right now, I'm currently in Swordboys, our new podcast. Swordboys is about movies with swords from the 80s and 90s. So science fiction, fantasy. So we started with Highlander. Patrick's eyes lit up. I may have a new listener.
Yeah.
It's me, Rick Ingham from the Mad Max Minute, and Robin Burge from the Karate Kid Minute. And we're Sword Boys, and we watch movies that have swords in them. So we did Highlanders our first season. We're doing it cut by cut, meaning basically we let Rick cut up the movie into sections, and each section basically has a fight, a sword fight
Starts
in
and
it.
ends with a
Mm.
fight scene. Yeah.
Sometimes that's not going to be perfect,
More or
but
less.
what it
Yeah.
does is allows us to either, like, we have 8 episodes of Highlander, we have 6 episodes of our second season. We're already recording Beastmaster. We'll be doing let's see, we got Highlander, Beastmaster, Hawk the Slayer, and then Red Sonja. Those are our first 4 movies we're going to be doing. So if you like those kind of movies, it's every other week. Go to swordboys.biz, spelled all normal, swordboys.biz, and you can find all of our links and stuff.
Yeah.
Interesting. I'll have to check out, what did you say, Hawk Slayer? I've never heard of that one.
Hawk the Slayer.
Hawk
It
the
is
Slayer.
80s. It's amazing in its badness. Jack Palance is the
I'm in.
Yeah, there you go. Jack Palance is the bad guy. It's
Yeah.
great. It's low budget, but it's one of those ones that if you love science fiction and sorcery, everyone loves it. And it's not good.
Yeah.
You wouldn't watch it and go, this is a really good
Is
movie.
it
But
is it in the same vein as Kroll?
yes, it's
Okay.
worse than Kroll.
Okay. Kroll was real bad.
But I would
Okay.
say it's like in the vein of Conan the Destroyer. Like they had an
Okay.
idea, they just didn't know what to do with it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
But it's fun. Like I love Conan the Destroyer. We're definitely going to do that. We'll probably do Conan. I said we weren't going to do Conan, but we'll probably come back and do Conan, the original one. I just know that they've done there's
Such
been
a
a bunch
good
of
movie.
Conan movies.
Yeah.
It is a good movie. Maybe we'll do a one shot. We do one shots
Yeah.
also. Dungeons and Dragons is up right now. We talked about the Dungeons and Dragons
The new
Honor
one.
Among Thieves movie. Yeah.
Dad
So
hat.
basically anything with a sword, dad hat. Yes. Anything with a sword in it, we talk about. So
Cool.
in since you guys have been doing it, and I think 5 episodes have released as of this recording, something like that, 4 or 5. It's a really good, really fun show. But it makes me wonder, Patrick, how did we not do Highlander?
Yeah.
How was it not on our list? I have no idea how we left it off, but we did. So
See, to me, Highlander is always a TV show in my brain.
I prefer the TV show.
we
as
actually
well,
have
but-
someone on the show that watches the TV show. I
Yeah,
never
yeah.
did because I was older when it came out. I was just like, I had already been burned by
Sure.
Highlander 2. I was
Yeah.
like, fuck this. I'm never Highlander 3 also.
Yeah.
I'm like, there's only one Highlander. I'm never watching anything else.
Right.
But I've heard people love the
I
TV show.
love
Yeah.
the show.
Yeah, it's just,
Yeah.
I think there's a specific demographic.
Yeah.
You're like 9 years younger than me,
Sure.
Travis. So it's like you were at the right age to be
Yeah.
watching that movie,
Yeah.
that TV show. Whereas I was like, ugh, what? I already
Sure.
saw the quickening. It happened.
Right.
The gathering happened. It's
The
over.
ret-
It's
the
over.
retconning to make the show doesn't
Yeah.
really make sense.
No.
Yeah.
It makes more sense than Highlander 2.
Oh, well,
Yeah.
shit. Anything does.
Yeah. I saw the show before I saw the movie. So to me, it's
Yeah.
always a show.
Oh, that's crazy. So
I
that
think I
must be
saw
wild.
the first movie first, probably not in its
Okay.
entirety, but then I started watching the show before I saw any of the other movies. But yeah,
But yeah,
Yeah,
these are like
movie.
we basically go to any movies that you watched as a kid, like on HBO.
yeah,
We probably are going to cover it with swords and stuff. So
Yeah.
man, I think that's probably going to do it. I don't really have anything. I mean, I'm still working on my movie by minutes for Robin Hood, Prince of Thieves. I don't know when that'll probably come out mid to late summer. I think is probably what I'm going to shoot for. So
you got a great first 5 minutes. Tell
Hell
you that
yeah.
right now. I'm on it. I can't do it on Swordboys
on
now.
it.
I'm on it.
You gotta sneak in some Robin Hood Men in Tights.
It comes up, for
Yeah.
sure. It's definitely one of those, like, I'll ask
That's my-
people what their favorite version of Robin Hood is, and then
Okay.
that has been some people's favorite version. And
I am to Men in Tights as
Mhm.
Travis is to Spaceballs.
okay,
Oh, really?
Yep. I do not like it. I know there
Yeah.
are parts that are funny,
Yeah.
but mostly I'm just like, doesn't ring true for me. I can't stand it. So yeah.
I'm in the camp where I don't necessarily want to watch Men in Tights anymore because I feel like it's diminishing returns every time I've seen it since I was a kid. It was great then. I think it gets worse over time. So
What a great review for the movie. You should put that up on something. You should put that up on IMDb.
yeah.
It gets worse every time you see it. Love it. 5 stars. You're like, what?
Well,
Yeah.
yeah.
I'm sorry, but every time Blinken is holding up the Playboy,
yeah,
that's
right.
Braille for
Again,
gets
like
me every time.
there's some great stuff. Yeah.
Oh, well.
All right.
Anywho,
Patrick, what are we doing next?
that is an excellent question that I totally know the answer to off the top of my head, which is
Highlander from
Yeah,
1986.
we're going back in time.
It's actually we're back in space. Alien
Yeah.
Resurrection
Ooh, that's a
will
good
be
one.
our next one.
Is it good? I can't remember if I
It's
where
French.
it's French.
Very
It's
French.
Yeah, I honestly can't remember if I've even seen it.
I just
We'll
remember
say.
Winona Ryder and
Yeah.
Ron Perlman and a creepy alien monster hybrid.
Yep. And Sigourney
So-
Weaver.
Well, yeah, obviously.
And what's his Dorf, whatever his name is.
Oh yeah,
His name's
not Steven
Dorf.
Dorff.
Yeah, no,
Brad
that's-
Dourif.
Yeah, Brad Dourif. Not
Okay.
Dorf on
Yeah.
golf. It's a little guy. Yeah, Brad Dourif's in it. Yeah, it's one of those ones. If you've ever seen the what is it, Children of Lost, City of Lost Children, same director. It's got that. This is the mainstream Perlman though that you need, that started the whole. You wouldn't have Hellboy without this movie. So I won't be on it, but have fun.
All right. Yeah, I think that's gonna do it. So until next time, stay safe out there, citizens.
Fuck this.
Fuck this.
Would you like to know more?
These were very, very hard to come by. So was our cargo. Whatever you got going on here ain't exactly approved by Congress. It's a military operation. Really?
Who are you?
Ripley Ellen, Lieutenant First Class, number 36706.
Ellen Ripley died 200 years ago. You're a thing, a construct. They grew you in a lab.
What the hell is going on here?
He is breeding an alien species.
Wish you could understand what we're trying to do here.
Now they brought it out of you.
Not all the way out.
You want to tell us what this is?
It's a queen. She'll breed. You'll die.
Ellen Ripley died trying to wipe the species out. I'm not anxious to see her taking up her old hobby.
I can feel it. I can hear it moving.
So hey, you like ran into these things before.
Yeah,
What did you do?
I died. We're moving.
That's a standard emergency procedure.
Any serious problem and the ship autopilots back to home base.
What's home base?
Earth.
I thought you were dead.
Yeah, I get that a lot.
Thanks for listening to the podcast. Find the show on Facebook and Twitter at Real Comic Heroes. All music and audio are the property of their respective creators.